Okay, you are live. Brother Maron,
Yes,
what's
sir.
going on?
Nothing, man. Just taking it easy, man. Taking it easy.
Another Sunday on 40 people by the people. I mean, are we gonna bring the house down today, or is it just gonna be on cruise
If you
control?
want to, we can. There's always things to talk about.
Are we gonna bring the hands down? Nilitakai majomba majomba nyawle funjar defar kameram bi. Para magam khor. Top Samba.
Coach.
Alhaji Musa Jeng.
It looks like you haven't been on this program for a minute. What's up with that?
Yeah, I think it's been like almost 4 Sundays.
Jeez.
You know.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too.
Sometimes, like Muhammad Ali would say, when you're as great as I am, sometimes you have to just, get off the stage a little bit, to allow the young ones,
so that you will be missed. Huh?
Yeah.
I hear you. But
why is that? No, look, Lumadal. I bought this new computer, so it still has the sticker on the camera. So I this is why I'm not on. So I'm gonna put plastic everywhere.
I'm gonna buy you. Like, I mean,
I believe me, I sell this thing, so I know that. So,
is this another Biden? Bro,
please leave Biden alone, man.
We talked about this last Sunday, and I mean, Sriyan was all over the place. I'm like, dude, we're losing. Decision has to be made somehow. Something has to give.
But it looks like that's going to happen, isn't it?
Huh? What?
He would have to. I don't think he can survive this.
I don't know, man. Sariang, what's your take? I mean, it's been 7 days we talked about this issue. I mean, I think, was it yesterday you left a message, a long one, basically buttressing the guy needs to be given respect. I get that. Definitely. Not only does he deserve it, he earned it. But it looks like we're going down. And
like how?
What do you mean like how? We're losing.
No. I want you to don't spin stuff like the pundits do. Just give me the facts. How are we going down?
Bro, we're losing. We're down in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. There's no way Democrats can win by losing those
But
states.
which polls? Which polls say so? I didn't see
poll that is out there. 538, I saw poll. I'm serious. The poll averages. We are losing. Let me tell you this.
I wish I could invite Michael Steele on this program, man, because he got a very good. Huh?
He was on fire, Michael Steele.
Oh no! He is all over this, and there is another Kessinger. Is it Kessinger and the other?
Oh, Kessinger. Yeah, the Republican.
Yeah, and there's another Republican guy that sits on MSNBC. Musa, I think people are freaking out, and I think people need to kind of do this a way whereby it's not going to create much division. I haven't seen any polls that says that Trump is going to win by landslide. I don't see it. It's within the margin of...
Sarian, even absent the polls, this guy cannot even recognize people. I saw a video of him, Musa and Sarian. It was very funny. There was this lady he was talking to. You could see how the wife just ran to him, pretty much just redirected him, because it looks like he thought that was the wife and was, trying to give the wife a kiss or whatever. So I'll tell you that. It was just the funniest thing ever. And I think there was a Democrat.
Where did you? I would like to know the source of that video. Is it from the conservative?
You know what? You are now sounding like the Republicans.
But Sariang, seriously, whether those are, I mean, propaganda videos, call it whatever you want to call it. There's a perception out there that the guy is so old that he's not in a position to do
But
this.
he
It's
is.
unfair. I mean,
he's old. But here's the thing I ask you, and I want both of you to answer this question. The guy, the 78-year-old white man who wants to replace him, what significant or what kind of cognitive ability has he shown that shows that he is also not on the freaking downside? Because 90 minutes of speech, he was just rambling, incoherent, and even his own vice president, he could not even freaking name the guy. He forgot him.
No,
right?
But you see, Saria, of course, everybody with an iota of sense knows that Trump is no alternative to anybody. Okay? I would pick anybody over Donald Trump. Donald Trump, first, he is old. Second, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He has no discipline. He's dangerous. He's a liar. He's a convict. He's you name it. Even he is a guy who confessed to sexually assaulting women and telling you grab their, they love it. So this is the guy. He has no decency whatsoever. Donald Trump is not the person that anybody is using as a yardstick. But what we are saying, Sarian, the presidency of the United States is such a hard job. If one thing you have to give Trump, not Trump, you see, I'm suffering from the Musajan syndrome too, the Biden syndrome. What you have to give Biden is that at least Biden was able to come and steady the ship. All right? Why not you ne? Kuna xamul ne naka suur na ñu jàpp sa loxo. At some point, Biden and his family should come and realize, you know what? There is no need for that. Biden is one of the most respected Democrats ever. And I know the people that are there talking about, you know what, you gotta go. Look, even if Trump, not Trump, Obama of all people is saying that, you know what, I think at some point he will have to reevaluate whether he can win or not. That is like, you know what, at some point you have to really think whether you can do this or not. The man is old. He just needs to go. That's my thing. But I'm not using Trump and as a yardstick. Trump is the worst person to have ever lived on this earth.
To be honest with you, Sarian, to answer your question, Biden in the grave, I would rather vote for him than vote for Donald Trump. Seriously. I mean, the question is not whether there is a perception out there, and perception is reality in politics. Do I believe that Biden could really do the job? I do. But that's not the question. The question is, he's going to lose. And
how is he going to lose? That's what I'm asking.
Look. we have seen American elections, both of us, going all the way back 3, 4, 5 election cycles. There is no way, looking at the situation as it is, that the Democrats will be able to pull it off. I'm telling you, it's just not under Biden. Even
let me ask you this question. Let me
finish. Even replacing Biden, there is no guarantee. I still believe that it's going to be an uphill battle. But it is one risk that is worth doing, like bringing in new excitement. You make Kamala the candidate. She turns around and name a running mate, a young guy. The Democrats, they're all together. They go to Chicago, coming out of Chicago. With Americans are saying they want some alternative. They don't want Biden. They don't want Trump. Let's give them that and create excitement within the Democratic Party and go and win this. But you stay with Biden, watch out for the September debate. It's going to be a big, and when we get to that point, we're in trouble. That's the situation as it is. Really.
Musa, polls are not predictive. They are adaptive.
When you're losing, that's
no. Hold on a second. You rely on polls today. What is in today on the polls might change 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is, I am not saying Biden, but the way they are going about it. It's the way they are going about it. You cannot. We knew this issue, that Biden was going to be 81. at this stage of the game, don't we? We knew it.
The age is not the problem. It's the
No, hold on, hold on a second. Hold on. You speak. I waited. Let me land. Right? We knew this during the primary that he was gonna be what he is today. Nobody knew. Nobody raised the question. You keep telling me he said the age. He's too old. So what are you talking? Now, here is another question that I'm trying to tell. It's not. You keep talking about Kamala. They are not even settled on Kamala. I shared the AOC video with you. What is being said behind the scene? It's not for certain, right? And it would be disastrous. A black lady in succession, if Biden is pushed out, someone else, they pick that, they can kiss this whole thing goodbye. It's not even a Trump factor.
I totally agree.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Because you know what? Why did Bernie Sanders, why did Clinton lose? Not because Donald Trump was popular, but because the core folks that were supposed to go out and vote did not go out and vote. And I think I'm smelling the same issue here if they continue the same trend. Yeah. And I think we have to be, I think even if Biden, it has to be, okay, as a family, let's talk, let's unite. This is the best option. But the snippet up a snippet, RNC, Trump gave 90 minutes of speech. It was dismal. Americans hate his guts. And I'm telling you, maybe he's not going to even have a bounce out of the RNC. But instead of the media talking about that, guess what? 14 more Democrats came in and said, media, please do not talk about RNC. Talk about Biden's age, that Biden needs to get out. And they lost that, right? So that's where I'm talking about, Musa.
When you're blaming the media, you're losing. I'm telling you.
No, I'm not blaming them. I'm not blaming them. I'm blaming you as a Democrat and together with other medias who... Huh?
Are you guys seeing... I feel...
Say
it again?
Your brand new laptop is not doing the job there. Are you talking, Pasamba?
No. I was thinking it looks like it was breaking. Is it me or is it everyone?
Breaking? Was that breaking, Musa?
Yeah.
You didn't hear all?
No, I heard everything that you said. It's him.
Oh, okay.
You cannot wait. You cannot get a new laptop and wait till the Sunday program and decide to try it.
Musa, boy, give him a slag.
And then he went.
And you know what? He's the reason. He is the reason. Yeah. He is the reason why I had to buy a new laptop. You know.
Saja was saying that there was static, Coach Tambajao. So maybe there was static. So you don't have to blame yourself. Saria, this is the thing.
Yeah, because they were static. That's what I saw. Because you Nakaltura. Salah case me.
Yeah, coach is freezing today. But I don't know what happened.
I don't know what's going on then. Are you guys hearing me?
We can hear you. So yeah, look, this is the way I'm looking at this. We're all on the same boat. We want the Democrats to win. Like I told you that if this thing continues, we're going to lose. You're absolutely right. And the man cannot be forced out or to be disrespected. I totally agree. Not only does he earn, he does earn it. Now, what people are afraid of, we're looking at in the next 2-3 months, will the man be able to prosecute this campaign and take the fight to the Republicans and to Donald Trump? I don't think he's able to do that. That's the problem. The question is not even, to be honest with you, because let's say, for instance, I was listening to, what's that congressman from Alabama? He's 84 years old, older than Biden. That is his main supporter. What's his name again? From South Carolina. He's 84 years old.
Oh, Claiborne.
Yes, Claiborne. So the 8 is just another number. That is why, I mean, I'm just saying, if Biden were able to come and prosecute this campaign, people wouldn't be talking about his age. Yes, he's 81. So what? But he looks 81. He acts as if he's just not really there. Like I was talking to my son yesterday, and that's what scares me. When you have this young guy, it's like, Dad, you remember when Biden, he was with Obama. I mean, the guy he didn't even know where he was. Obama had to go and grab him by the hand. And, with something like this young people feel like this guy is just too old, that he doesn't know what's going on. The excitement will not be there. Now, they're not going to switch over and vote for Trump. I don't believe that. But if Biden was able to prosecute in the next 2-3 months, then I think he has a chance of winning more than anybody else. But that is the unknown that people are scared of. Are you sure that he will be able to prosecute this campaign against Trump in the next 2-3 months?
Okay, I think you probably misunderstood me. Well, I'm not saying Biden needs to stay on. I'm not saying that. But here are concerns that I have, Musa. I've been around long enough to understand what is freaking cooking, right? So the fact is, the old man can be pushed out. I can say, hey, Bawa, pass the torch.
Right.
But the way things are going right now, I'm not convinced, right? And you're saying there's this white congressman from California, older one, he has this Russian name, European last name, on MSNBC. She came out on Friday, part of the gang.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked her on live TV, since Kamala is the vice president of Biden, if he happens to make a decision to drop out,
right,
step aside, Kamala would be the presumptive nominee. He said, well, we need to have a little competition. We should not have a coronation. And these are, if you look at the black congressional caucuses, they're not, go watch. They have a lot of things uploaded on TikTok. They are saying we are part of these discussions. Of a sudden, if Pamela was a white man today, and I'm not gonna shy my words, man. I'm gonna say it as it is. If she was a white man, we're not gonna have this conversation. If she was a competent, like she is competent, if she was a white woman, we're not gonna have this conversation. That nonsense coronation, what does that supposed to mean? You guys are in dire straits the last minute. You guys are having a field day on your nominee to say that he needs to drop out. Well, what is the backup plan that you can pick up and move with that instantaneously? No. We got people, especially Silicon Valley, who think they write a fat check to Democratic Party and need to decide. And I think it could be more chaotic than what we're in. This excitement and all that stuff. Even the minority. I mean, the same day that 14 or so came out to say Biden needs to drop out, Congressional Hispanic Caucus endorsed Biden. And the lady came out and make a case on MSNBC that they are part of these conversations in the House when you say, hey, well, let's talk heart to heart. Now, you guys are saying Biden needs to step aside. Now, who is going to succeed Biden? Well, we need to have a competition. What competition? We got a lady out there who is competent, who's been a senator, who's been an attorney general, who's done a marvelous job. She needs to step up and be the nominee.
No.
And these conversations are not being addressed, Musa.
Sarian, I'm with you 1,000% if there is something like that. I seriously do believe if Biden is to step aside, Kamala can only be the sole candidate, the nominee. In the absence of that, the Democrats will lose. They will lose big. I'm telling you. I heard some of them saying, well, not necessarily. It can be a coronation. We have to go through a process. That process is going to be bloody. That process is going to be a mess. And if they bypass Kamala Harris, black people are not going to come out and vote for whoever comes out of this process outside of Kamala. I totally agree with you. Seriously, I do. I don't have a disagreement on that. And yes, there are lots of them that are out there, like I mean, that video that you forwarded from
AOC, yeah.
And basically, she's saying they are out there talking about Biden to step aside, and then but unwilling to commit to Kamala. And I think that would be a political suicide. Seriously, if they bypass the lady, then we are better off going with Biden as it is. Because we are definitely going to lose.
I don't know, man. I think there are I think there is some people. No, I agree. I think there are some people, Musa, they do not want to wait till 2032. And here is what I'm sensing. I think the old man, even if he says he's gonna stay in, he's gonna win. After that, he's gonna pass and say, "Hey, I'm gonna resign due to I mean, he went through a lot, even with his family. His son passed.
Do you think with everything? Do you think he can still win?
Biden.
Yeah.
I think this race is winnable. I really think, because I haven't seen any polls which says otherwise. I really don't. With everything people been saying that even last time they had a debate on MSNBC. They say this lady, what's her name? Simmons, I think, the one that Bernie Sanders campaign chair or spokesperson. She's very brilliant, and she's saying there is now polling out there that people are making all this issue out of it. There is not such polling out there. Is it okay for Democrats to come together and say Biden to step aside based on what Biden? Yes. But again, I think we need to do it in a way whereby it's not going to be divisive. Because if Biden says, oh, yeah, okay. Biden says I step aside, but Kamala is supposed to be. There are people, and I think Nancy Pelosi, number one. I don't trust Nancy Pelosi. I'll say it on this platform right here. I'm telling you, I don't trust her. And no, Musa, here's the example why I say I don't trust her. I don't think she's supposed Kamala. And I think, Adam Smith running for the Senate for the other lady's position. Adam Smith was running. What is the Barbara Boxer? No, not Barbara Boxer, but Lee was running. They with other minorities. Nancy Pelosi was the leader of the Democrat. These people work under her. I think to give an impartial and to be impartial and stay aside, she should not have come forth when other, part of Congress were running. Yeah. But she came on and endorsed. I endorse Smith.
This is what I don't believe. I don't think that Chuck Schumer and the House leader, the black guy, Jeffries, and Nancy Pelosi, all those folks, even Obama, they will not go out there, basically, talking about that Biden needs to step aside. Seriously, they will not shoot themselves on the foot if they didn't know that this thing is dire. I'm serious. I don't think they have an agenda just to push the man out. I don't believe
I'm not saying they have an agenda, but they can be wrong because they were wrong before. They said Hillary Clinton was going to win Trump, but she did not win. They were wrong before.
Know that. Look, with all that, Biden could even go and then still win. It's possible. They don't know that. Yeah. But they are looking at, these are Democrats. They believe in Biden. They don't want Trump to win. But it's what they are looking at. Jaharang. I'm not politics. Let me again. You see it as it is, and then you act as if you know what, voters will have the final say. Even poll out there, Democrats, close to 70% are saying that the man should step aside. So this is not just coming from the leaders. It's coming from the voters themselves, Democratic voters. That's what they are saying.
And that is not definite. I'm telling you right now, that's not definite. And the fact, the fact that those polls numbers don't come down because Democrats, the spineless Democrats, keep gaining out there and get their own sitting nominee. That's the reason why they did not make a case against what he has accomplished and what he's going to do in the next 4 years. Right. What they keep talking about is, he's too old. Blah, 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 blah. This other guy cannot even pronounce stuff. he said Biden is going to start Second World War. All right, okay, all right. He doesn't know history. He talks the missile system that he talks about. I even forgot about Israel. He running, and he has Project 2025. If you really think the age of Biden, he's a little slow. He could not recognize people. He will call Kamala Trump or whatever. You think that is a threat? Think about 2020 to a Project 2025.
Wait till this man take over.
No, but I'm gonna sorry, and I understand everything that you're saying. I think that does not also negate the argument that has been made about the guy. Biden's age was not an issue until he had the debate. Biden's problem, he had another problem that was his genocidal support of Israel against the Palestinian people. That was his biggest. No. That was the issue that he had. Will the Muslims, will the Arabs vote for him? We know he's a genocidal enabler. And that's what he is. And that was his biggest problem until he had the debate. You don't even hear people talking about that anymore. So to me, this thing boils down to one thing. It shows you how backward American politics is. The fact that America has to settle for two of these people is either Biden and his age and genocidal support of Israel, or Trump, the maniac, the crazy guy who would come and destroy this world. So you know what, man, they are not that much better than us in terms of politics. Rather than you in development and building institutions. But to just say these are the two people that people have to settle for, and the lesser of the two evils. Why do we even have to settle for an evil? You know, but again, you know, it is what it is. But I think the Democrats have a greater chance with somebody else on the ticket than Biden for two things. First, you would eliminate his genocidal problem.
Oh my Lord!
And second, his age, which has become a problem even among Democrats themselves. You know, we can talk about all the politics, but again, Sarian, we do not expect that everybody is a democracy. That everybody would say, you know what, let's go with what you call Kamala. It doesn't. Some people will have preferences. It's not even we have that situation within the UDP. You have Hussein Dabo right there, but you have people who are this thing. I think Talib should be the Kine. Oh no, Lyman Sane. So you have that. At the end of the day, they have to figure this thing out. But America has to also figure out its politics. It so happened that it has become so polarized that we have to settle for these two. That senile old man who doesn't even remember people, and the senile guy who is crazier than anybody else who doesn't play by. Who would have thought in this day and age that a man who instigated an insurrection in the United States, a treasonous act,
definitely,
is on top of the ticket and could possibly be re-elected in office with everything that Trump had done? Everything. So we can sit here and talk about Biden. We can say the issue is American politics, especially the Democrats are spineless. The Republicans are hypocrites. These hypocrites who used to talk about law and order, who used to talk about the Constitution, who used to talk about all these things, all of a sudden now has allowed a maniac, a convicted felon, a man who instigated an insurrection, an insurrectionist, the first man to try to do a coup d'etat here in this country, in the United States, to be on top of their ticket, and they have all foolishly and hypocritically rallied around him, because to them, they are not principled. All they're interested in is in power, and they will do whatever it takes. And this is why none of them would challenge Trump, because of the fear that they may lose their House seats or whatever. But look at the United States, Musa. Let's just look about this ageism, if you want to call it that. Who is the head of the Republican Party in the Senate? Mitch McConnell. The last time he was talking, I think he was pooping. You know, he just stood there. People believe that maybe he was shitting on himself. Could not even remember what he was doing. So you Amatko and move him. You look at Nancy Pelosi, is almost 99 years old. You look at what's the guy's name? Chuck Schumer is almost also in his 80s. You see the grace list on all. You look at that whole setup. Is this all people who have nothing more to offer this country other than division? are at the head of the tickets or the leadership of the various parties, and then they want us to just follow the Republican Party and the Democrats. For Cornel West, I don't care what anybody says.
I agree. I agree to some of the things that you said.
Of course, it has to be some of it.
All of you, you know, he has a tendency to get into weave in some.
That's okay. I sat here unless you never said so
they are totally unrelated. Where I do agree with him, but then remember,
okay,
we are talking about democracy, the will of the people. All right? I mean, Donald Trump, like him or hate him, and I hate him, he's coming out of a process. It's the Republican Party primary voters that are saying he's our man. What do you do in a situation like that? He's a convicted felon, but they still like him. The America that I used to know, there is no way that Donald Trump would have prevailed. What changed? I don't know. But again, it's democracy, it's the will of the people. What the hell can you do about that?
Well, you know what? Then let's stop. You know what, Musa? I understand. Let's stop blaming our voters to back home for the way that they vote.
Look, that doesn't mean that we can blame the American voter too. Man, I've always said here that they are not as sophisticated as we tend to think.
They are not.
Seriously, they are not nowhere much more sophisticated than Gambian voters. I don't believe that.
Musa, at the end of the day, I don't think that any serious country would even consider a Donald Trump as a possible president. Well, even Alkali de Kasasi Wapam. This guy is a failure in everything that he's ever done.
But
bankruptcy 11 times. He's a liar, an established liar, a congenital liar.
If the Democrats were to choose a candidate, you know what I mean, a younger candidate who can take the fight to Donald Trump, I think it would have been a totally different story. I'm just saying.
Gavin Newsom
could take, even Buttigieg, he could have taken oh my God. He would have been.
Musa, the polling doesn't support it. They just came out with the polling data. They came out with the polling data. It doesn't support what you're saying on this platform. I'm telling you. Look at the polling. Go to MSNBC. Go to ABC.
Sarian, I can tell you one thing there. If Gavin Newsom was on that debate platform with Trump,
oh my God,
he would not even have debated
a totally different ball game.
No, Trump would not even.
I know the guy can. But here is the other thing, though. You know, when you look at all these things, I don't have a problem of Biden stepping aside. But what I am really, really concerned is post-Biden, how these folks are going to handle. And let's also not forget that
I agree with you.
Republicans, if they cannot win at the ballot, what they tend to fall back onto is the court system. And in fact, someone on the platform on MSNBC said the Heritage Foundation is already lining up lawyers to ensure that this is a court battle to put whoever the new nominee is through the court. I mean, this is what they do. And, you know, the highest court of the land is doing the biggest bidding for Donald Trump and the Republicans. So we don't need to be concerned about all this.
All the arguments that you're making, without coming outright, you're saying that looking at all the other different options and the possible problems, we're better off just sticking with Biden and push it all the way.
I did not say that. I'm saying if Biden step aside. No. You know, you tend to try to put words in people's mouth. And I'm not going to agree. No. Hold on. I think I made my point. Even on the WhatsApp group.
You have to, seriously, you got to tell me, what my position is. My position is
my position is if Biden step aside. Hold on a second, but now
let me tell you my position.
No, I don't want you to speak on my behalf. I can speak on my behalf. So wait, let me speak because you tend to do this. You tend to create a narrative that I don't want to say. What I'm trying to say is Biden step aside. If Biden step aside, they need to put Kamala in place.
I agree.
Okay, if they don't do that, they can kiss this whole thing goodbye.
I agree. I totally agree.
So
but we're on the same page.
But let me ask you guys, you two voters. I don't have a vote. Direct question. You both are Democrats, I'm assuming. Musa, based on your...
I might change after this time. I might change my voting affiliation depending on how they handle this whole thing.
Yeah. So let me ask you this direct question, yes or no question. Musa, do you think Biden should step aside or not?
I think he should step aside so that we can win.
How about you, Saria? Saria, you don't have to drink
I think he should step aside based on his own accord, not force him out.
I agree too.
Okay.
But he
All
cannot
right.
be
Well, you know what?
Look, he cannot be forced out. Ultimately.
No. They are trying. The way they are going about it, they are forcing him out.
No. This is what I'm saying. There is a reason why they went public, because they've tried privately to make sure that the man can step aside, and it wasn't working. They decided that maybe they need to put the public pressure so that, because
your assumption.
Let me tell you, even within your own party, the United Democratic Party, there is a lot of...
Why does that have to do anything with this whole discussion? Why you like to invoke the UDP in this?
No, we'll have plenty of time to discuss UDP.
There's a lot of talk behind
you know, the funny thing is you keep talking about, if you're blaming the media, you're losing. Here is another topic that people don't even talk about. Yeah, the shooting that happened. They said it was an assassination attempt on Trump, right? Here is a lot of unanswered question. The guy has an AR-15. AR-15 has, a caliber of 16, 18, and 20. Now, up to today, nobody's seen the medical record. Nobody's seen the intensity of the fact that what damage does that happen on his... And I'm not trying to cast... But here's the thing. No medical record. What is the intensity of when that stuff hits him? Nothing. We saw a bandage.
What are you driving at?
No, what I'm driving at, I think there should be more scrutiny to this whole thing. They see it. Because I tell you what, the guy was 50 yards. And the effective range of an AR-15 is 800 yards. And it's within. If that bullet,
he couldn't have missed. You're saying that he couldn't have missed.
He could not miss. He could not miss. And you know what? Also, the American people, if we're talking about cognitive, mental health, and all that aspect, I think his record needs to come out, and the doctor needs to tell us how he treated him and what the...
Trump said that he took a bullet for democracy.
For democracy.
I'm not very convinced. I am not very convinced. And I've been having this discussion.
All I'm just letting you know, I squeezed the trigger of an AR-15. I don't know.
I have never shot a weapon. That's okay. But to have a bullet that just grazed this thing, a bullet, I don't know. But you know what? He's Trump. He's going to make it with his bandage. And did you see the people at the convention with also? I saw pictures of people with bandages.
So let me flesh out the conspiracy you guys.
You know what, Musa, you'll be the conspiracy theorist there. Why you are not dismissing our conspiracy there?
What I'm saying is, so you're saying
you don't just want to go there.
Staged. The guy was, because Sarah Young Mune 800 yards, the guy was 50 yards away. So this whole thing was staged. They go, you know what? Just pull the AR, make sure you not and make sure that you don't hit his head. And they're willing to take all that risk. Oh my God.
No, Musa, hold on a second. I think what hurt Trump might not be the bullet or the shrapnel from the bullet. It might be he hit something and that hit Trump and hurt Trump. That's what I'm trying to say. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. The weapon is very precise and it's a very, very high caliber weapon, right? So the effective range is 800. The guy was 50 meters away, 50 yards, right? So if he hits Trump, Musa, absolutely, it didn't take the chunk out of the years.
Yeah.
It just hit. So obviously, and if you can see the blood,
right,
visually, you can see the blood. So I mean, obviously, if the blood took him out, it would be more than. And up to today, we haven't seen the medical record. We haven't seen the treatment record. We haven't seen the doctor who came and say, "Hey." And the next hour, Biden even say when this shooting happened, he spoke to Trump on the phone. So that bullet, Musa, that's not your handy. If it hits you, wallah, you're not gonna be able to talk on the phone in an hour. Trust me.
Hey, we're having another Sunday on 40 People by the People. And some folks are helping us fund this. We have to go to them. And
Heroes indeed walk amongst us. Every day, individuals accomplishing extraordinary feats. And now, the Fatu Network proudly presents, live at the Sadara Karaba Jawara Conference Center on Saturday, May 25th, 2024 at 8:30 p.m., the 4th edition of the Heroes Awards, recognizing dedication, sacrifice, innovation, and service. We gather to honor the brightest stars of 2023, from movers and shakers to leaders and shapers. These individuals are making a difference, one giant leap at a time. Join us in celebrating our everyday heroes at the Heroes Awards, honoring inspiring personalities who embody the spirit of selflessness and positive change.
Believe the hype because it's that good. A true kitchen essential. Get Candy Spice products to impress your family and friends with great food, creating flavorful memories. We have pepper sauce, marinades, gourmet spices, barbecue sauces, fruit butter, African snacks, and much more. Every order gets a gift. Yes, you heard that right. Every order gets a gift. Candy Spice, it's handcrafted and all natural. We have options, you choose. Order at www.candyspice.com.
Sorry,
Carnival Spice.
we're gonna get to Gambian politics. So this is my final word.
Oh, final word. No. We are done with that topic now. We gotta move.
No, just final word. That the Democrats should put their house in order. If it's gonna be Biden, they should come out in numbers and support his candidacy and go out there like there's no tomorrow to win it. That decision has to be made. None of these, wavering. If Biden is going to step aside, then Biden needs to do it on his own accord, like you said, with respect, for him to step aside, endorse Kamala Harris. Kamala can pick another running mate and let them take the fight to Trump. Those are the only two options, to me, that I believe would at least for the Democrats to be able to win. In the absence of that, I think they will lose.
Yeah, that I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I just want us to move to a country whose politics is a lot more normal and whose people are a lot more sophisticated. And, they are not into all this foolishness that we see, attempted assassinations or staged assassinations or whatever you want to call it, who do not have candidates who are bragging about grabbing people's private parts and that, and all that. And that is the Republic of the Gambia.
No, Musa, the reason I'm not trying to be funny with the shooting though, but I'm telling you right now, I was talking to my buddy. He's in California. Because this AR-15 is like an M16 that military folks use when we go different, and now it's replaced by an M4. It's the same civilian side. It's AR-16. Musa, I'm telling you that bullet is sharp as a pencil. I'm just letting you know, and it's not a joke. I'm just letting, and I see like a former Secret Service guy talking about this and says someone gets on the rooftop, and I think the guy has a binocular microscopes, and he measured that target. Now the fundamental question is: the people who passed away, were those the people in front of Trump? When Trump got injured, did the blood hit those people? These are all questions, and I think I care much about when he went to the emergency room. Did they do a CT scan? What was the results? What did they find out? I mean, did it take the chunk out of it? Did it touch his head? All these things. But I tell you what, that blood is very, very sharp. So I'll leave it at that.
All right.
Well, anyway, back to the country of normalcy. The Gambia. We had a lot of things going
right
for a while. I don't even know where to begin. But I think, Musa, one issue that I think you guys talked about the firing of the ministers.
Yeah, we did.
The dual citizenship.
Yeah,
I don't know where you guys this thing. I know you brought Yuka here and provoked them, and I know, but we had the FGM issue.
No, that was right before week before. That was week before. Last week, you can.
So one part of you can definitely. So
when you provoke them, calling them, they are like when this thing commercial.
Where's the beef?
Where's the beef? But we had the vote finally, Musa,
right,
in the National Assembly. But there is another issue that I wanted to talk about before that, because during the president's State of the Union address, he mentioned that we may have a referendum on a new constitution in December of 2024. Is that what he said?
That's what he said.
Well, sorry to surprise people, that is practically impossible. Because I have inquired and was informed that the Constitution Amendment Bill has not been gazetted yet. All right? Because any bill, before they bring it to the National Assembly, has to be gazetted. Because they're not bringing an old thing. It has to be presented as a new bill.
Correct.
Okay? And the gazetting should take at least 100 days. 3 months, 10 days. Where would that take us? Around September, isn't it? If you do it now, we're talking about almost October.
October, close to October.
All right. And after that, it has to go to the National Assembly now. And they would have to go through their readings. First reading, second reading, third reading. It can take up to 3 months in the National Assembly before the whole process comes to fruition. Where are we talking about? December. And then for you to have a referendum, you also have to now send it to the IEC, who is supposed to give a notice of a referendum. And then you also have to have a period where you will tour the country, do the campaigning for the referendum to happen. So we'll give and take. If we are to have a referendum on a new constitution, you're looking at somewhere around April or May of 2025. So anybody who was expecting that you will have something in December, you might push that what I believe happened
is saying, I don't know what he's saying. He said it was gazetted.
No, he said the bill is gazetted. That's what he said.
Yeah.
No, when I asked the other day, I asked somebody who is Demba, I asked somebody who is a member of the National Assembly. And what I was informed, it was not. So if it was gazetted, I want to know when it was gazetted.
Yeah.
But when I last asked about it, I was informed that it was not gazetted. But the gazetting, I know what's his name? Flex Dan does a very good job in following these processes to see whether it's been gazetted. But the process itself, even if it were gazetted, I think because unless the government now brings it with a bill of urgency, certificate of urgency.
Because they did that with one of the bills.
That's when they wanted to give Barrow his.
Exactly. So they could approach it the same way. But my bottom line is this: if he's saying that referendum is going to be done in December, it's going to be held. Now, if the process at least starts, then I mean, all good. If we miss it by a month or 2 months, no big deal. Let's have the referendum and let's pass this new constitution. To me, that's the most important thing. If, let's say, for instance, the target date is December, but for whatever reason, like you said, logistically, it's not possible, but the process flows, even if we do it in February or in March. My thing is, we cannot go into 2026 elections under the 1997 Constitution. And if we accomplish that, I think we will be good as a country. That's definitely my take. But I hear you, whether it's gazetted or not, let's get the ball rolling. I mean, they don't really have to wait.
No. Now, Coach, I wanted to ask the other question. I know we were all up in arms about the increase for judiciary officers, and also there was a discussion about raising the.
Somebody is saying, Musa, Biden has agreed to step down. Somebody is saying that. Unless
he did. BBC is reporting it.
Exactly.
Biden stepped down as presidential candidate.
Exactly. Now we can take the fight to them.
Hangaman, I listen to man BBC Lali follow. But anyway, you were asking something more important than these Americans and their elections.
It's very important, absolutely important.
You know.
There is a reason why you live in this country for the past 25 years and abandon your country.
I'm not problem with Musa Jeng. You know, Musa Jeng will never do Musa rest. If it is not Nakalatura, Gambian politics, it's American politics.
I did not see it yet.
Yeah, no, BBC is.
I will stand down from the race. It's right here from CNN breaking news. Standing down from.
But the report was it was going to happen this weekend. So because the family also were talking about that. But Sariang, you were asking a more important question.
It's right here.
Yeah. Can we discuss this thing now? We got it. It's okay.
Yes, sir.
As long as they select Kamala, I'm happy.
But you see, Sariang, this is where I have a problem too. We cannot. There should be a process. No. Here is what I believe. I don't believe in coronation.
He wants to dictate, Musa. Huh?
So I don't believe in coronation. What I believe is let them go through the process. No. Let them go through that process so that whomever is elected by the people, selected, they will rally around that person. Then you can have a united front going out.
Asamba, to some extent too, I like what you are saying. Now let them go through a process. And if Kamala comes out of that process, I think that would give a lot of credibility to the whole thing. But at the same time too, if you go through that process, for whatever reason, and Kamala doesn't become the nominee, we'll have a problem.
So the Democrats have now solved their genocidal problem.
Oh my God.
You know.
And I don't think
I think Musa people give her less credit than what she deserves. Okay. This woman was the AG in California. She came to the Senate. She was part of the Intelligence Committee, Judiciary Committee, and there was another committee, I think Armed Services or something. This is the woman who actually, during the hearing, pinned down Jeff Sessions.
Yes.
Toe to toe, even Jeff Sessions said, yes, Senator, I don't want to lie on the perjury. Pinned down Bill Barr. Bill Barr was all, Bill Barr was all nervous about it. So So I think the whole issue is if we take the tabulation of the Democratic Party, let's do a head count, for example. The minorities and the other side composition, the Democratic Party is drifting away from what they are thinking. I mean, you're talking about Jeffries. If Jeffries become the speaker, I mean, we'll see more leadership positions that are given to folks who have been in the shadow, and they will come in the timeline and show people what they can do. She's very effective, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see her on the stage with Donald Trump. Stay toe to toe. I can't wait for that. I can't.
But you remember, Sariang, I told you something behind the scene a couple of days ago, and I see Tukulor is mentioning that. Kamala and Gretchen, the two women, take the fight. It will be excitement. Excitement. I think. Yeah. I mean, you had your reservation. Well, now.
I have my reservations.
I seriously believe 2 women on the ticket, that's a winning formula. Excitement.
Yeah, it's great, but I think she needs to be pragmatic, not just the 2 women. I think she needs to come up with someone who has the appeal, especially the Midwestern.
I think
who's very.
You have to be tactical. So if
you have to be tactical. Is what the electorate of this country is about. You have to just go with the euphoria, per se.
It's not the euphoria. The tactical that you guys are talking about, Gretchen on the ticket, like Tukulor said, you win Michigan. You got to look at the states that Democrats need to win, my friend. So
you 2 Americans are not going to allow me to talk about our country today.
Oh, no. Go ahead, Coach. Go ahead.
You had a question about something. Go ahead, about those bills.
Yeah, so the bill for the increase in salaries of, I believe, the 2 people that came in the timeline was the deputy speaker and the speaker, and also the judiciaries and the increasing, and people went out of protest. I'm not sure where are we in that legislation. I mean, I thought they said it was supposed to happen July 16th.
This is what I believe. I believe that they are going to pass them. Unfortunately, we have what I call governance by zero. And even the National Assembly bill is flawed. And I called out, I don't know where I had it printed out. I don't know where I put it. Because if you look at the bill, it is saying that for you to be eligible for pension, you have to have served 10 consecutive years in Parliament. And I called some National Assembly members and said, this doesn't make sense. So you're telling me if Serian is elected as the NP for Lower Badibu, okay? And then the next elections he loses. The subsequent elections he comes and gets re-elected again. And he serves the term. Now he has served 10 years. Why should he be any less qualified to get a pension than the person who served? Because 10 years is 10 years. So I'm like, the language should not have any ambiguities. You can say that you must have at least 10 years severally or jointly to be eligible for this pension. So, and when I said that to the member that I was talking, they didn't even pay. They were like, oh, I didn't even notice that. So begging the question, Musa, do we in fact sometimes read these things very well to even understand what it says or not? But to me, the sad thing about this is, yes, you have to compensate people well for the job that they do. But why is it that it just focuses on these 3 arms of government? Now, the judiciary, I feel sorry for them in a way. Because when they gave the executive what they wanted to give them, the National Assembly what they wanted to give them, the judiciary comes and says, wait a minute, we are also here. People say, no, it's not going to happen. This whole thing to me is just a joke. And the sad thing is when you see the list of the deputy speaker, you see Sidi Njai, speaker, Fabakary Tombong Jatta, it's Sariang, it's just a sad situation. And I believe that it's going to pass. It's going to pass because I don't think this National Assembly has the wherewithal to say no to it. Because at the end of the day, that will be them saying no to their own bill. They wrote their bill, they want it how they want it, and it's going to pass. The same way that there was a whole uproar about the cars. Because what I realize about this National Assembly, whenever it affects them, they don't care what anybody says. They're going to pass it. Everybody else, they'll say we are listening to our constituents. It doesn't make sense. It's just ridiculous. It's sad, and I hope that at least they will, for once, do the right thing by the Gambian people. And you know what's going to happen? Wait until these farmers are done farming there and harvesting their crops, and that's where you'll hear excuses all over the place. Ukraine war, COVID-19, Biden stepping down, Kamala possibly being president, or Trump getting president. They will find any excuse in the world about not taking care of the farmers. But when it comes to them and their benefits, they will do it. We are a sad country. Still better than the US, but sad. Uncle
Musa, are you busy?
Musa supports it.
No, Pasamba, I mean, I've listened to everything that you've said, and I kind of agree with you. When it comes to...
Go ahead.
I was expecting you're going to say, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
No, I
will never do that.
Because the man...
Let me get this while you're talking. I'm listening to you.
His orientation is a little bit different. See, when it comes to the judiciary, I mean, this is one institution. Not only am I sympathetic to them, but I think it's a very viable pillar. I mean, it's an important pillar to the viability of our democracy. I mean, these are people, for us, for the rule of law to stick, we have to have a very robust, independent-minded, court system. So, making sure that they're compensated well, I mean, I don't have problems with that. I want to make sure that they have security where they live. I want to make sure that they're protected. I want to make sure that, I mean, that doesn't mean that if you give them all that, there is not even a possibility that they could be corruptible. I'm not saying that, but we want to eliminate all of that because of the role that they play in our democracy and in our society. Where I have a problem is this National Assembly, first of all, because I don't think what they are compensated for, we are getting the value of our money. I don't think so. Seriously, most of these people, they're just like me. They don't know even how to make laws. They don't bring anything to the table. So for us to think that in a country like the Gambia, I mean, poverty is all over the place. We don't have a viable economy. You're telling me that we need to give these people brand new vehicles to drive. We need to give them, fuel coupons. We need to compensate them adequately, because if not, these people will not be interested in the job. Bro, for heaven's sake, this could even be a part-time job if you ask me. Really, these people need to get a real job. We want to have lawmakers to come there and debate with representation. Let's get quality people. That whole thing needs to be revisited. I don't think that paying them all this money is good for our country. I don't believe that. Not one bit. Look at the quality of the people that are there. What do they bring to the table? So, Bobu Mom, I have serious problems with compensation for this National Assembly member. I think the entire thing needs to be revisited. Big time, sir.
No, Musa, we have more interesting, sir, see this compensation. Put one like how we don't even make common sense laws. We do not even make it. To see, Hamga, when you write a law, you're not doing it to appease anybody. You're doing it because it's the right thing.
Exactly.
You look at the salaries, the schedule, column 3. That is rates of allowances. Hamga, the speaker, no, let's forget the speaker. Let them see like the elected people. Membership. Some salary, you have a salary of 624,000. You have house rent of 180,000.
I have a problem with that.
But guess what though? The speaker, I don't know why the speaker's salary, like a house rent should be, how much speaker's house rent? Can you guess?
I can't even guess.
I saw it. I forgot the number.
480,000
a year.
All right. And then the constituency allowance. of 480,000. But what they did, which is criminal to the core, is decided, you know what, nominated members do, we have to find a way of making them happy. So the 420,000 that was supposed to be constituency allowance is now made responsibility allowance for nominated members. So it's like you're just going to have money, whatever your I don't know what kind of responsibility is that.
I'm going to raise my problem. Why do we need to compensate them that much? What do they bring to the table?
Oh, no. Emut for day. They also, you know, we gave them cars. They also get travel home to office allowance.
It's just ridiculous.
And do you know what that amount is? $600,000 is travel home to office. We've given you a car that we spent so much money to get you. We are paying you a salary, but we are also giving you 600,000. And 600 by 12 divided by 12 months would be what? About what? 50,000?
Something like that.
Yeah, about 50,000.
Yeah, 50,000.
So every month we are going to give you $50,000 so that you can travel from your office to your home. If you live in Banjul,
I think it's ridiculous. Seriously, I don't know who is making this decision, but we need a new way of doing business when it comes to this compensation.
And you know what's interesting too? And I've argued this, and this is why, Musa, sometimes when people talk about this, I don't want to say anything about it, because the argument should start when the budget is before the National Assembly.
Of course.
You remember I had this debate with the National Assembly on this same budget, on their allocations. And they were arguing, how Malumawa, and then quoting what the US senators get and all this nonsense. Do you know that in the Gambia, the public servants, do you know that their allowances are not paid? They are not taxed, sorry. So meaning the only thing that is taxed from these people is the salary. House rent is considered an allowance, is not taxed. Responsibility allowance, not taxed. Constituency allowance, not taxed. Travel, not taxed. Robbing, not taxed. Telephone, not taxed. Professional, not taxed. What kind of professional allowance does Fabakari Tambaja have to have 240,000?
Forget about the taxing. Our economy cannot afford this kind of compensation to citizens or supposedly jobs that they do. We are not getting our value for money. What are we paying these people? For what? Because of my name and I'm running under NPP, automatically I will become a National Assembly member. Responsibility allowance. Even though I have a beautiful house, I could go and stay there and bang, I'm cool.
And then you still get paid
housing allowance and all of that.
Rent allowance.
It doesn't make sense.
And you know what's funny?
What kind of work do they do? I want somebody.
And you know what's funny? The dishonesty of people. If you remember my argument, when I raised this issue about the rent allowance and the transportation allowance, do you remember what they said? Was, oh, I did not understand the budget because that's the staff. That's what they said. But this bill that is before the National Assembly is talking about members, no staff is mentioned here. These people are crazy, and they will tell you how much they are sacrificing for the country. You're not sacrificing for the country. You're doing this thing to make your own wealth. That's what they do. This is sick. Sorry. No, it's sick. I'm serious. And then you go to our hospitals, even to the oxygen canister, you cannot find it in the hospital. There is nothing
I found it quite interesting. Folks they protested against these increases. We've been talking about it, and as you rightfully argued, it doesn't make sense. But just this past week, we've seen, staff of the hospital had a press conference and make an argument about the lack of, professionalism and dedication to services in that hospital. I mean, you kind of wonder, collectively, are we serious? I mean, the fact she's saying that they use a mere glove, that disposable. You can get out there to the main, so you can buy a pack of these gloves, and it has like a quantity of what, 36 or so, like for $36 or something, like with $30. That someone cannot, a staff has to wear the same glove, over and over, different, patient, or if she is on shift for 8 hours, she's been given only one set of gloves. So and where is the rest of the money goes, right? So I think these are questions that we need to keep asking, right? So it's very, very sad that we see all these increases, and I think we need to get away from this whole thing about we need to compensate folks. Oh, if we do that, they're not gonna be correctable. If we do this, they're gonna, and I see my party makes all these arguments about, oh, these are very important folks, part of a democracy. We need to strengthen that institution. Well, I mean, think about security personnel who out there who provide security, right? So I think we need to kind of educate folks that these type of services comes with sacrifice. Even in the Western world, the most powerful economies, they don't pay these folks with, they're not millionaires, billionaires. They don't. They usually get these.
Some of them sleep in their offices in Congress.
Exactly. They write books and they make money out of these things, right? So this whole thing about we cannot strengthen the institution, or we cannot be serious as a nation unless and until we give 5 checks to folks. That's the only way they will be upright. And I think it's flawed. I mean, people need to be taught to be upright, not to be stealing from people. Because if we talk about we're Muslims and Christians, the one thing that even says in there says you cannot cheat. If people are under your leadership, you cannot do certain things. But we've seen people over and over, right? So we're talking about we're struggling as a nation. We got people, these things are increases. And I don't know where the funds are coming from, whether they keep increasing. I mean, 7 years up to now, the debt has increased.
I will cut you. Sir Biden just tweeted he is one of my fellow Americans. I've decided not to accept your nomination. It has gone off. But that the best decision that he made was choosing Kamala as his vice president, and he wants to offer his total support and endorsement. Kamala succeed as the next Nakala.
And Munchin or whatever his name is, the freaking West Virginia,
I know,
good
Joe.
For nothing senator,
I know,
but he's
spineless, boneless.
He's not even a Democrat.
He's not even a Democrat.
It's like, but you see what he's throwing in the mix, right, to bring confusion. Did you read his press conference? His press release?
I just listened to him this morning, and he was talking about we have to have an open process. These are
no. He's very explicit now. He says Bashir or freaking the governor for Pennsylvania needs to replace Biden.
What he said was, well, the interview that I saw was, well, these 2 governors close to West Virginia, they will make good candidates. They will lose, seriously, because black voters are going to be said they are wrong. I mean, that would be the biggest mistake that they could make.
He doesn't care about nobody, and this is the concern I have.
I don't like him. That Joe Mancini.
I mean, the one thing you don't want to do is take such a path. I think she can be on the top, choose one of those.
Yes.
It's okay, right?
Yes.
But you want to push her aside and put it. What qualification do they have that she cannot bring on the table? I think this is a fundamental question that people are gonna.
Nobody will listen to Mancini. But let's go back to the country, the serious country.
But Sarian, you talked about strengthening the institutions of democracy, like the National Assembly, which I agree. But you know where you start? You don't start with compensation. You start with quality people, leaders. I'm telling you.
I agree. I'm not even talking about National Assembly. I'm talking about even the judiciary too. Musa, this is a country which is very, very lonely, right? The fact that over 7 years, the debt has increased to 110 billion in red, right? And the president went out on a tour, chest pounding. Mbal, now you are increasing the salaries. Where are you getting that money from? So now you borrow, you tax, but you compensate and you spend things on the other side, right? So I think it becomes. And I don't know whether you watched last week, but there were staff that came out from the main hospital. They had a press conference and they were talking about, the challenges they face and how deplorable those conditions are within the hospital in terms of their resources, things that they use on daily basis, like simple stuff like gloves. Well, the sister was like, if I'm on shift for 8 hours, I get one glove. The needles, the syringes, and all that stuff. I mean, you're talking about
that is so dangerous.
Exactly, and if you think about the increase in deaths at the main hospital, and it can be attributed to all these factors. So talking about, your buddy there says, if you go to Senegal, their MPs got compensated a fat check, and if you look at Gambia,
but you know what? Look at Senegal and look at the Gambia. Here is the thing, though, and this is what the National Assembly have been selling people. Or we have to like swing now, because you see when you go, you have to represent in conference. Musa, where Gambia needs to start, Sasibopam. Why the hell do we need 5 members, National Assembly members, in the Pan-African Parliament? What are they doing there? To do what? It does not even make sense. And when they travel, they get paid their per diems and all these things. They get allowances too from those listing. You have the IPCU or whatever, the Europe one. And this is why they are always fighting and clamoring over these committees. Do you remember the people who were kicked out of the ECOWAS Parliament going to court because they believe that the clerk did them wrong and all? So it's like they don't even represent people. And Musa, the last National Assembly, I was talking to somebody. They were supposed to go on a tour. When you go tour in the country, you get paid per diem. Do you know what they do, some of them? They know Jala. Maybe they would go with them Jala, Bena City or Bena Village, and they turn right back and go back home. And they'll be paid for the duration of the tour. It's the level of greed and corruption that is there. And these are the people that we expect to do this. To me, Musa, if the livelihood of the Gambian people is better, I don't care who is paid what. But you cannot continue to pay these people this much money, give them all these allowances and these benefits, and the people who send them there continue to wallow in abject poverty, where you go to a hospital, you are giving one pair of gloves. Musa, one pair of gloves. The reason why people have gloves is for infection control, so that you will not touch this person who has Ghana and touch somebody else who has Wuhan and whatever it is, and then contaminate this whole thing. But you give them one pair of gloves, syringes, you don't even have enough to give them. Oxygen. Look at, I don't know whether you read about that guy, Musa, I think he's a physician in the Gambia or whatever, whose father died because they did not have the equipment, Musa, for this guy to survive, the oxygens and all this thing. And he was there helping the dad, could not help it. In fact, wrote an article, it is published in the Standard. It was first on Facebook. It was published on the Standard. Do you know the amount of people that die every day in our hospitals because they could not have oxygen? And these people are killed by whom? The people that are responsible to provide it, but decide they would use this money to get their $600,000 allowances and all this foolishness. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Well, Samba, I mean, man, I seriously believe the whole thing needs to be looked at. Gambia is, without a doubt, an extremely poor country. We all know that. It's a tax-based economy. And now, yes, we do have loans and we do have grants that we sometimes, for budget support, these are monies in the consolidated fund. Now, my argument has always been, we need to look at ourselves too as citizens, people that we elect and put them in these institutions. So the problem starts with us. And then, if I were to be elected president, and you're talking about compensation, let's look at, and you're talking about people that work, I mean, citizens that work for the public, the nurses, the what they call it again, teachers, and police officers. I mean, a bunch of us, if you look at the population, bunch of people that work for the public service are these few people. We want to make sure, I'm not saying you give them everything that they need, but at least salaries that you pay them, compensation, they will be able to afford housing. They will be able to afford, a bag of rice. How much does a police officer receive every month? Do you know?
It's about, I don't think it's about 3,000.
Now,
you know what? I think I have
my brother,
the budget somewhere.
if you are paying, maybe it's more than that, but if you're paying a police officer $3,000, looking at police officers in the greater Banjul area, I don't think they can even afford the house rent. I don't think they could afford a bag of rice that is almost $1,500, $1,800. I don't think they can afford that. So the first focus should be any finance minister. It's like, okay, this is how much money that we have. This is how much money that we can afford to spend. But let's look at the greater number of public servants, the police officers, the nurses, to make sure, cost of living allowances, that with this salary, they'll be able to pay their housing. With this salary, they'll be able to at least afford a bag of rice. That needs to be factored in. If government doesn't want to provide housing for these people, then you turn around and be compensating these folks that maybe some of them were even police officers before, and then all of a sudden, they deserve all these monies and allowances, and the justification is what? Do they even have the skill sets? And maybe we are, what I would call, maybe we are idealists. I don't know. It's easy for us to sit on a podcast and just, talk down on these issues. But I seriously believe that this thing needs to be looked at. I think these people are overcompensated. I don't think they deserve it, if you ask me.
No, they don't.
I seriously do not think that. If anybody thinks, okay, man, I cannot be a National Assembly member because I have to be compensated, then don't run. I mean, Nolusa is good for us.
Easy.
Seriously.
Easy. Musa, if you look at the president of Liberia, the current president of Liberia,
yes,
those people are serious. You know what he did? He came and cut his salary by 40%.
Exactly.
And look at even our presidency, Sigambia. You're giving house to stay.
Yeah.
You are giving clothes to wear. You are giving food to eat. You have no expenditure whatsoever, nothing. And they pay you this fat salary and these allowances. In the United States here, ask Michelle Obama. When you're doing content harama onyo musanya, like Baro what he does every Friday, invite them CDC guide them send bahal you talk for no.
It's on you.
You get a bill. They send you a bill. They're you know what? This way the many guests that go in the New Southeast amount. You pay it. Because they're paying a salary. Your job. What you do now, what you do at your hotel, your job, if that was in the Gambia, you would have been given a car and a driver. Kula drive. Essence. Wow. The same thing with me, where I am now as assistant manager or whatever, they would believe they're obligated to give you. Those people do not even give a damn what I drive or how I get to work. All they know is they're paying me a salary. I better be there.
They could care less.
Wow. And that's just what it is. And at the end of the day, you are held to account. This is what is expected of you. We need you to explain these results. Why are they bad? That's it.
Absolutely. But
no. And coach, just to buttress what you were saying, on this side of the things, if you are part of the government and actually you are entitled to a per diem, for instance, say based on wherever the location is, if you're entitled for full per diem, say you go in there into a government facility, you eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I'm telling you right now, there's a tracking mechanism. So whatever the charges are, you're not gonna get full per diem. It gets automatically deducted, and whatever the difference is, that's what you get compensated for. So you don't get full per diem. And it looks like last time I was talking to a permanent secretary, and it looks like these guys, they have a flat rate based on what your position is in government. So they don't care about all these things. And I think that's why you've seen everybody running wants to travel, wants to be part of these things, and there's absolutely no accountability for whatsoever. So because if someone goes out there and eat at the State House,
I have a serious issue here. Because Matar Sajau has been fixing this. Musa Jeng will fix it as this thing. So Musa Jeng decided to put this so that everybody will read it. Musa Jeng will fix anything.
He's a very smart man.
Well, what's called it? Matar Sajau, you're talking about someone who is going to waffle on issues and will play a devil's advocate on issues. Just go get at it, man.
But one thing I can tell you, though, it will be a new template, a totally different ball game.
It will bring excitement. It will bring excitement.
Yes, it cannot be business as usual.
You know what?
Coach, you know this excitement. You know this excitement, Coach.
So the only way we can fix this is a clean slate. It cannot be business as usual. We're gonna change fini, no, that's not do it. I mean, the entire thing has to, like Pastor Amba said, it starts with the budget. When it starts with the budget, don't even worry about what we did last year. To hell with that. Forget about all of that. Let's do a clean slate. That would be the approach. And unless and until we do that, we're wasting our time. It's going to be business as usual.
No, it's a joke.
Anyway.
It's like every government that comes is the same template.
It's the same template. They're putting emphasis here, putting emphasis there.
Template.
Even the president's compensation, I think it's too much.
It's too much.
Seriously.
And Musa, they are spending a lot of money on these vehicles.
Bro,
yes.
The whole approach towards the presidency, this Mansa thing, and where we put it, I don't think Adama Barrow or anybody else for that matter, really, that we need to compensate them that much because of the job that they do. I seriously do not believe that. Now, if we can afford it, since I'm on oil illic, I'm all for that. Then we take care of the police officers, we take care of the nurses, we take care of the teachers, we take care of, even the farmers themselves. The majority of our population, these are farmers, struggling people. We need to look at them too. Now, this whole idea that somehow we have to compensate the president, we have to compensate National Assembly members, we have to compensate them because of statute, or let's look at our peer, their peers in other countries. It's their problem. What makes you think that Senegal is any better? Senegal poverty is rampant. Senegal, maybe they're doing the wrong things too. They're overcompensating these people for nothing.
The Africa, there was an example set in Africa, and within 4 years you could see the difference. When Thomas Sankara was president of Burkina Faso, you go and read anywhere about him. He came and he wanted to sacrifice. He was the first one to say, you know what, it's going to start with me.
Yes.
My salary is going to be a captain's salary. I'm not going to add a penny from it, penny to that. That's my salary. All right? All these beautiful cars they're talking about, he said, we cannot be driving $500,000 cars on $200 roads. It's not going to happen. Sold. His most expensive car was a Peugeot 305. Yang every Peugeot like naka.
Frank cars you
and then he made it where no minister would travel first class. In fact, he believed that, you know what, maybe if they're inconvenient, they would focus more on their jobs. But that convenience is a problem. And looking at the transformation of Burkina Faso within 4 years from 83 to 87 was massive because of the amount of sacrifice he made, to the extent of the corruption. I'm not going to say it was eradicated, but people thought about it a second time, because if the person at the top is so incorruptible and does not manifest any form of corruption, the person behind you would say, I don't think this is somewhere I want to go. But what has been happening in Africa is that people come to power to enrich themselves. That's it. You don't care. The people have no core values or anything. In the West, is there corruption? Absolutely it is.
Oh, yes.
But guess what, though? You know how you make your money? Bill Clinton was bankrupt. He had nothing when he left office because he used all his money to pay for his lawyers. In the Gambia, his lawyers would have been paid by the state because everybody was accusing him. All these women.
We're not ready.
But when he came out, what did he do? He said, you know what? Based on my experience, I'll go on my speaking tours. They would pay me to speak. I would write books. That's how they make their money. The Obamas, that's how they became rich. You work on your experience, write a book.
Not because of me, you're president. I mean,
you know.
And Pasamba, really. Malik Njai, he talked about these benefits. Just like when you get bonuses at work,
Oh,
I can guarantee you, they tax the hell out of it.
Yeah, but that's different though, Musa. What he's talking about, he's talking about allowance. Even here, they don't tax you about your housing allowance and all the other stuff. They don't.
No, I'm talking about Malingjai. When anywhere else in the world, benefits are taxed at a higher rate. That's what I'm saying. Benefits are taxed at a higher rate. Let's say, for instance, now I don't know about you guys and your allowances. I'm just talking about at work. When you get these bonuses.
No, that is taxed. Yes.
When they tell you the amounts, I'm going to get excited. They check when you're going to
you're talking about 45% will be taken out of it. You'll be like, what the hell? I saw people coming to me and saying, look, man, I don't want to pay the taxes right now. So I want you to change my my dependents so that I'll pay it at the end of the year. Because I have, especially sales managers will do that. They get the sales bonuses every quarter. And when the bonus is going to be paid, they don't want it to be taxed. Because I'm telling you, if it is $5,000, 40% of it will be taxed.
Will go
just like that.
And that's the thing. But
so you want to wait till the end of the year?
Hey, let me deal with it. They'll tell you, let me deal with it at the end of the year.
And you know what? Maybe there is a possibility you may not receive anything. What you would have paid for tax, you would just be, and say, you know what, that's fine.
You know what? Let me deal with Uncle Sam at the end of the year.
But Musa, definitely our whole country, you see, we need a total transformational shift.
Definitely.
A paradigm shift. There was somebody who came with the paradigm. Was that Nagalatura? What's his name? Living Bilegi. Baghdad Bob. What's his name? No, I'm kidding. Ismail. But we need to really have people who are in love with our country, because definitely it doesn't make sense, Musa. And it's like nothing works. Even centrally, you guys, this whole tally that this thing we are talking about, they've started messing up already because of the rains. Nobody cares about anything in that country. Because of the leadership does not care.
I think the whole thing is, if we continue on this trajectory, at what point do we say enough is enough, right? Because I think this is just unsustainable. Because when you see hospital staffs being very, very emotional, talking about, their daily interaction with folks that they could be there to help them. And their job specifically was designed to help to save lives. But they could not do it one way or the other because they had resource restraint. And they could not provide otherwise. What's the best alternative, right? So I think it becomes a roller coaster. And if we continue this, because this is not the first time we heard this. I mean, if you talk about 2 weeks ago, there was a protest because they wanted to increase the salaries of some folks exponentially. Mm-hmm. Now you hear these sad stories, and like Musa said, NAMs get compensated, but there is no sense or whatsoever. A big guy in the room to say, hey, maybe we need to stop. We need to divert some of these resources and make life better for other folks. I see Uncle Sidi Sane wrote something about his own sister, and I don't think it's very, very fair, despite where you're at on the political spectrum, right? So the fact that these are minuscule of what we can do as a nation, right? Like a glove. So that, like what I was saying, I say you can go in there, you get a case of gloves. And I don't know how many, like 120 pairs in those disposable gloves. So if someone is restricted. Only one glove for the entire shift. And those are not interchangeable and disposed of. Strangers and stuff. Then what are we? And who are we as a nation? And what do we preach here, right? Even though we come here on every Sunday, try to talk, try to discuss these pending issues, pressing issues. You've seen folks sitting out there, talking about, okay, this man is doing great. Oh, we cannot, they give you this nonsense comparisons. I'm saying that, oh, we need a fat paycheck in order to have a resolve, in order to do the right thing, in order for not to be corrupted. I really think the discussion is flawed, and everyone needs to kind of say, at what point do we stop Barrow and his gang and whoever is associated? I don't care where did, but this country needs to be salvaged. I mean, it's been long overdue, regardless. And these folks, yeah, the week I watch. I mean, I cringe. I mean, the fact that someone would have one glove. How much is a glove? I mean, you can buy that stuff like freaking less than $2 a year. So what is the end game here? And how do we move forward? Because the debt has increased, out of spending, we had corruption every freaking workplace. So now what is the end game? How do we stop this?
And you're talking about gloves. That I used to be in that business before, because I used to be the sales, whatever I was. I think supplies coordinator at my previous job. So my job was to order these medical supplies and all that stuff. You don't even have to come to the West to get them because they're all made in China. Everything you see, you can get very good deals in China if you're buying your wholesale or whatever to supply these hospitals with everything that they need. But of course, they do not care about that because you see the cars that they bought for those National Assembly members, 2 of them would have been able to supply our hospitals with gloves for over a year or so. In fact, much more than that anyway, because they are not that many. Anyway, we don't have those many hospitals in that country. Everything we may need is there. They are the least expensive things. Sariang, I know because I dealt with it. If you're in the US here, it's expensive because of everything is business here. They don't care. But if you order it from where they're getting it from, you would get these things at a very, very good rate. And the ones that we used to order, here you're thinking about the quality, FDC and on all these things, there is different. You can have very good ones, vinyl gloves that can be used, disposed of, and then they use other ones. But they're not doing that. So this is the reason why everybody who goes to the hospitals with one sickness goes home with another one because of the contamination that is happening. It's just crazy. But anyway,
Pastor, the bottom line is this: we've been, to use not a very nice word, we've been bitching. I mean, for the past 10 years, if you want to call it that, on this platform of how bad things are. It remains bad and it's going to get worse. And looking at this situation, it looks like we're not still ready for prime time.
We are not.
Let's look at just recently at the National Assembly, there was this debate about the FGM. Mm-hmm. And the more you look at that voting patterns of some of these National Assembly members, it tells you that even the alternative is not ready for prime time. And that is so concerning that we're all talking about 2026, that maybe change is on the way. Really? You really believe that change is on the way? I don't know about that. What's your take on these FGM voting patterns and how the main opposition party, the United Democratic Party, they waffle, they stay silent, they did not demonstrate leadership, nobody can hear them out. And we're just supposed to, just like that.
Musa,
not only was I disappointed, I'm like, whoa. This silence is deafening.
Now, you see, Musa, I followed this thing very closely.
Mm-hmm.
And like I told you, working at the African Center for Democracy and Human Rights Studies in the 90s, there was a program that they started, Ceremonies Without the Cutting, trying to encourage the practice, respecting the cultural aspect of it, but also being cognizant of the harmful aspect of it too. And they were going to communities, talking to people and all that. So it has always been a contentious issue. Now, when the vote happened, I didn't say anything because I just wanted to watch how it went. But to me, listening to Yaya Menteng's audio, I don't know whether you heard it.
I heard it.
To me, just confirmed my worst fears. I had never seen, I think that was the most ridiculous attempt to be opportunistic in that instance. Because to me, Musa, there is something that is very serious about this whole thing. Vote your conscience. If you believe it, vote whatever you believe. But to turn around and said, you know what, I am appealing to Imam Fati and his supporters to come to us because you will be the defenders of Islam. Which Islam are you defending? Against whom? The other Muslims who do not support it? If when Jammeh had that kind of rhetoric, everybody had an issue with it. And to me, if you believe that that's how you vote, you believe in it, you know what, I can respect that. But to me, the opportunistic, spineless thing by Yaya Menteng, or come to the UDP because you will be the defenders of Islam, we will defend Islam. Who are you defending Islam against? That's what I want to know. Who? Against whom? The other Muslims who do not believe in it? Or the women who went through it and believe that it should not happen, who are also Muslims? Or the Christians, some of whom also practice it? Who are you defending Islam against? So are you telling me now if Imam Fati, who believes that Gambia should be declared an Islamic state, should come tomorrow and say, you know what, let's try to amend the constitution and declare Gambia an Islamic state? Are you going to be in support of that because you are supposedly the defender of Islam? Maybe Yaya Menteng and his ilk are now supposed to take Jammeh's name. You know, Jammeh Nasiruddin was the defender of the deen. Maybe that needs to go now to Yaya Menteng. To me, Musa, it's just some of these ridiculous things that people do that do not help anybody. That do not help anybody. And it's opportunistic to the core. And this is why a lot of people in the UDP, you see them trying to explain, no, this is Yaya's position, it's not our position. But again, you know where it made it difficult to separate from the UDP? The voting pattern. Because if you have an overwhelming majority of a political party voting one way, and one of them outside of the ranks trying to use that to recruit others and say, come on, join us because we are the defenders of Islam. Defending it against whom? The Pasamba Jaus or the Imam Babalis or the Musa Jengs or the Dr. Aissatou Touré or whom? I don't know. It's just really sad, honestly. And then I also saw people writing, oh, you know, they're trying to bully. Nobody is bullying anybody. When you have issues like this, you're going to have different divergent views. Always. And it's always a very contentious issue.
Look, Pasamba,
now,
I think every citizen or even somebody who's going to go out there and talk about this FGM issue, one has to recognize the sensitivity of it.
Oh, yes.
Respect should be demonstrated, no doubt about that. I am of the belief, just like the abortion issue here in the West, people would take a position and they come out and defend it to the core.
Yep.
But you see, when you have because you see, there are always going to be very difficult issues for any government, issues that are very contentious, issues that talk about culture, issues that talk about sometimes even human beings. I'm just talking about issues are always going to be difficult. The problem that I see within the United Democratic Party is when issues are difficult. When the issues are difficult, they either remain silent. For heaven's sake, you want to lead, you want to say you're an alternative. Please act like it. You want to defend the issue of FGM, defend it to the core and say, these are your reasons. So guts, so leadership. If you think you have a problem with it, and that most likely there is a political, political price to be paid. As a leader, you convince them and tell them why you think it's wrong. Leaders, they lead, not family Canada. Canada inga jital yo nga top ci sen gannaaw. That is not an alternative, my friend. We're saying we need a transformational shift. All you need to do, look at issues that are difficult and see how a party would respond. And I think they did not respond boldly. What I see is very squeamish, very quiet. They don't want to hurt Key. They don't want to hurt Key. They want to have it both ways. It doesn't work like that. When it comes to the abortion issue, you're either for choice or you're pro-abortion. You go out there and you defend it. That's what leaders do. When leaders shy away from it, man, it gives me, what would happen if they become, when they start governing? Are they going to be any different from what we have? From this vote? I don't think so. Yaya Menteng exploiting it? He's the only one who's going out saying it, but I can guarantee you, on the law, they think there is a political game that it will help them out. Unfortunately. My good friend, Sariang, what say you?
Well, I think I'm going to disagree with your assertion. I mean, the vote tally was very, very clear. People voted for it, against it, and they voted in explicit terms. They don't figgle, they don't waffle. They stood up. You can scapegoat Ayat Menteng all you want, but the fact is, there were people who were in the chambers. They vote their conscience. You can call it they are playing into the political narrative, but they did vote. Maybe you did not like that vote because you think they need to go with the majority based on your own biases of the issue being discussed right now, right? So I think trying to mingle, saying someone, oh, you need to show backbone. This issue has been sensitive.
Leadership.
And I think it's a bad law. I think what Almame Jiba needs to do was not going through the legislation. He needs to charge this law through the courts because I think there is vulnerability there. When this law was passed, it was passed during Jammeh's time. It's discriminatory. Where in the Constitution, I'm not a lawyer, but where in the Constitution is it unlawful an adult, a consenting adult, 18 years or older, hurting him, herself, to be taken to court or being criminalized? It's an overreach. It's a judicial overreach in the highest order.
Are you suggesting that this law targets adults? Because most of the people...
No, what I'm saying, they said it's unlawful. But so if somebody who is 18 years and older went and did it, are you going to take that individual to court because it's harmful, they hurt themselves?
Dr. Saria, I think if this law was about adults doing it, we would not be having this conversation.
No. Here's the thing.
I don't think so.
I don't care whether it's adults or children. What I'm trying to say is when the law was made, it did not take any consideration. The law was rolled out. And what I'm saying in terms of the law itself, where in it should be optional. If somebody wants to do it, that's my position.
But
if somebody wants to have 18 years, but wait, I did not cut you off. Let me finish. Then you can say whatever you want to say, and we can go back and forth. But I think the fact is saying that, oh, some people didn't come out. They went out there, they registered their votes. Their votes were tallied. One way or the other, whether they are against or for. Give them little credit for that. You might disagree with them. But they've shown resilience and they went vote. You don't agree with their vote, but respect them because that's democracy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
it's not about aligning themselves with one way or the other, because I think this is a very sensitive issue, right? And we all need to be careful how we tally it. It's a settled law. I don't think it needs to be legislated, but that's my position. It's a bad thing that Almame Jibe brought the legislation back because I don't see. For instance, I was reading Nata Mas. He says, "Oh, by the way, they've taken these two people to court before they were locked up," but I haven't heard anyone been locked up before. Why would you create such an animosity and rancor among community members? It's been there since 2015. Why would you go in there and say, we need to ban it? There was no justification for it. But at least we win it, we table it. There was a discussion about it. The law stand, and we need to respect that. But taking a slide against people and saying, they have a bad.
Let me ask you a question, Sarian. Let me ask you a question. What was your?
I'm serious.
No. Let me. We're talking about democracy. No, I have a question for you, Sarian.
No, go ahead.
No, what was your take on the Supreme Court's ruling on Trump's immunity?
I think it's a freaking overreach and is a disaster. And the law.
Okay, hold on. We are talking about, at the end of the day, here is sometimes where this issue is very dicey. You have no problem calling out here sometimes Congress when they go and vote on an issue, or even in the Gambian Parliament when they vote on an issue. You have no problem taking a position and going after sometimes National Assembly members for taking a position. What Musa is doing pretty much the same thing. Of course, when these issues come, there will be people who will be 100% in support of whatever vote that Yaya Menteng, and Yaya is not being scapegoated. Yaya Menteng put his hand there and bring an audio. That's why he's the center of the discussion. Otherwise,
that was stupid, coach. That Musa, I'm telling you, I reach out to Yaya Menteng. By the way, I'm just gonna be very transparent here. Yaya Menteng is my uncle. He lives at my mom's house in Brikama. He grew up, but I told him, yes, he's my uncle. He's my uncle.
Fire him.
No, I'm not gonna fire him. Nobody fire your family. Nobody does. You and I and everybody will not fire your uncle because he takes a stand on a freaking political sensitive. But I think it was stupid for him to go out that wants to cash out on this issue. You don't do that as a lawmaker, right? So I made my point clear. I made my point.
Very calculated move. Very opportunistic.
I'm not shy. What I'm not going to do is take a dig saying, leadership, you didn't come out. You need to come out.
The party did not demonstrate any leadership.
Why would the party do? The party has representatives at the National Assembly. Those are the people who voted.
I am telling you, they are quiet. They do not want to touch this with a 6-foot pole. That is why people always said the UDP and the NPP 6 and 9 lane, top the dollar.
I think that is complete BS after the order that UDP and MPP are not. And here's the thing. You know what? UDP. If UDP and MPP are 9, there are UDP names who voted for this legislation. And I think it's pretty disingenuous.
How many?
Hold on. Let me rebut. I think it's pretty disingenuous. It's disingenuous to say that somehow. No, but there are members. There are members who voted for the legislation.
Bro.
No, but do you agree that there are members who voted for the legislation?
Look.
There were names from UDP who voted for the legislation. Do you know?
I'm just saying that there's a reason.
No. But what I'm asking you, Musa, go on the record to acknowledge that there are names that voted for this legislation.
Don't filibuster. I am saying there's a reason why folks would tell you UDP and NPP 6 and 9 lane, because when it comes to the difficult issues, you don't see leadership. What you see is political exploitation. How does this help me politically? They don't lead.
I think that is the most skewed. That is the most skewed analysis and bias. Because I am asking you, do you know there are names within UDP who voted for the legislation?
I don't know what the UDP position is on this issue.
But so now why are you making proclamation that they were silent, they don't want to take a position?
Do you know the UDP position on this issue? Maybe maybe.
Do you know the other political party? UDP is not the only political party. Do you know? No, hear me. Here's the question. Do you know? Pasamba can speak for Doi. Does Pasamba say what is Doi's position on here?
Don't filibuster. I am
No, filibuster.
the major opposition parties. We're not talking about parties that have no chance in hell to win elections come 2026.
I think every opportunity Musa Gang has wants to take a dig.
If you have government in waiting and you're saying you're progressive, you're dynamic, you are transformational, you will bring fundamental changes to this country. And when it comes to difficult issues, all I see is waffle and tentative. That tells me that you're not.
But what is the other political party's position too? I think if you bulam laming fi bulam laming naler, what is the position of other political parties? They were silent too. They were silent.
So now it's about nyun kena.
No.
Somebody was asking. Somebody was asking what Doy's position is. Doy has always been opposed to FGM. In fact, for that person's information, CDI in fact was the chairman of Gamco Trap for the longest time. So. And if you have read the Doi publication Gonga, if you've read the Doi publication Gonga, there was a statement issued by Halifa on the same issue. But
Pasamba, when we first talked about this.
But now let the man land. He is staying in the position. Why do you have to cut him off? Give him opportunity. No. Musa, let the man land. Please. Go ahead.
The issue, the issue, like for me, Musa, the liberal that I am, I am pro-abortion. I support that 100%. And I don't believe, yes, I support these issues. These are issues that I have zero problem with, and FGM I have a problem with it.
So you're okay. I'm trying to understand. You mean you're pro-abortion, meaning?
I'm not anti-abortion.
Okay.
I believe in the woman's right to choose an adult, especially.
Okay. I get
this
it.
This FGM
I'm getting confused. Yeah.
If this FGM was an issue for adults. If it was something that is practiced by adults, we will not be having this conversation. Because what consenting adults do to me, as long as you're not harming people, that I don't have an issue. But when kids, it's just like this. And you know what the next issue is? And I hope Yaya Menteng would help Imam Fateh and your table a bill.
No,
so that
coach,
they would legalize marriages of minors.
Coach, I have a question. You raised that. So what do you think the legislation specifically is for?
This legislation, the intent of the legislation is the kids that are being subjected to.
Is that says specifically explicitly in the legislation? I'm just asking without ambiguity.
Listen.
Or it says the practice has been banned.
Well, you know what? If it is a harmful, you know what it is. What it is? No, let's look at if it is harmful practice.
Okay.
Let's look at this. You are a trained soldier, isn't it? You have a right.
No, I'm a retiree. I'm part of the retiree community.
But you are still a trained soldier.
Yes.
In New York City, there is a great chance you may not be allowed to have a gun. Of course, until Trump's Supreme Court decided to strike that and say that you can have some of these caliber weapons. Because it's not a matter of you can practice it, so DEFCO. But it's sometimes society would look at a law and say that, you know what, for the general good of everybody, FGM is not practiced on adults, Sarian. How often do we hear of an 18-year-old girl or woman? It does not happen.
Look, Pasamba.
Okay.
Guys said, let me land. Let me interject here. When we first had this conversation, Sarian's position was very clear. He was sympathetic, but he also said that he will not even allow his children to go through it. A lot of people that I know will give you that same response, that they will not allow their children to go through it. My position then was, look, I was kind of very sympathetic. I'm like, you know what? people have the right to even say that, look, this is part of our traditional, part of our culture. What I'm having problems, and I want you, Serian, to listen to me very carefully. It's not whether the people that voted on or against Kimo win or kill I agree with. No. What I have a problem with is the role of the party, and that they did not sow toe and spine, and their action is no different from the current government and the way they approach issues. All right? They take issue and put a stand. You're going to have a United Democratic Party platform. These are the changes that we're going to bring. One of your own, you said your uncle is saying going to voter we will come and decriminalize it. If that is your position, say it for heaven's sake and defend it to the core.
And Musa, I'm going to counter
say it
that.
and defend it.
No, Musa,
okay, so here is Musa, coach, for your information.
That your
for your information
on some of these issues. When we believe they should take a firm issue on this thing, and that's where your people, the centrist part of the Democratic Party, would come and call new leftists in. You guys are going to cost us the elections because of positions in Agent. So I just wanted to bring that.
No. I mean, when politicians that do that, I seriously do not respect them. Because if you are a MAGA and you come out there and then you defend your position to the core, I will never vote for you. But at least I will respect you.
Diba Chako has a question for you. Mone, if you believe, if you think and believe, the alternative is not ready for prime time, are you suggesting we stick with the status quo until we see a better alternative?
That's a very fundamental question. If I know that the status quo is not sustainable and it's not going to help our country. But at the same time, too, I do not want a replacement of the same old. That's what I'm saying. Maybe Gambia.
Okay, let me ask you.
No, coach.
Let me reframe the question.
Coach, I want clarification before.
Let me
before you land. I'm going to
ask this follow-up question.
Are you suggesting that we stick with the status quo? I'm not suggesting to stick with the status quo. I'm not suggesting that we stick with the status quo. Never. We need change. Never. We need change. But I also do not want change for the hell of it. Change for change's sake. I do not want that there. Just to
let me ask you this, Musa.
Bring Sari and Maron.
Let's say if Gambia was confronted with the same situation that your adopted country here is confronted with. You have UDP on one hand as the alternative, NPP as the status quo. Musa Jeng, you have the deciding vote. What say you?
Say it again. I missed it.
Money.
I seriously missed it. I missed
money.
The
If the Gambia was confronted with what your adopted country, the politically backward, scenario that you have here.
A binary choice.
Yes, binary choice.
Mm-hmm.
You have NPP on the one hand, your cousins, the UDP on the other hand. Musa Jeng, you have the deciding vote. Do we stick with the status quo or do we go with the alternative?
Seeing what I'm seeing, I may stay home.
But you have to vote.
What do you mean I have to vote?
You know what? Like let me quote you how what's his name? The guy who said that you cannot be neutral on a moving train.
No. I have always been against this binary place that we see ourselves.
But
I have said this, all I'm waiting for is within the alternative, which I believe is the United Democratic Party. At this point, the only viable vehicle that can depose
the UDP,
NPP and Daro. I want to see a UDP that
Howard Zen. Yes.
Hunger. Waffle fee all over the place. Let me see that, and I would vote for them. I'm tired of Fabakary Tombong Jatta. NPP already
on one issue. On one issue such as female FGM, huh?
No.
So here's the question. I got clarification. I got clarification from a competent lawyer. He says the law the law as it stands right now, it's banned in its entirety without no exceptions.
And
Meaning that
I agree.
yeah.
It should have exceptions. Exceptions for what?
No, without no exceptions.
Okay.
Adults are not subject.
So meaning both adults and children are entangled with this overreaching legislation.
Well, let me ask you this question.
Adults are not subjected to this.
I have a question for you. So you are saying basically the laws should be rewritten whereby exceptions. No. The law should be written targeting only kids cannot be subjected to female circumcision, and you will go with it.
People, no. Let me speak my mind. I don't want you to quote me anything. No. I'm not gonna answer your question. Hold on. I did my research. And I share it with the platform. So I can speak on my own. Let me help you out. No, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna speak.
I think you are waffling.
And I'm not waffling. I know exactly what I said because I'm not afraid to take a position on this. I am not. Trust me. I am not. What I'm asking you is, even in the law, and I think this is where Mr. Gibbon needs to concentrate his efforts. I don't think in Gambian current law, criminality, an 18-year-old, if they goes in there and produce this, somehow it hurts herself and they can criminalize her. Even in the Western world, they don't take nobody to court because that person, hurt himself or herself.
Let's not kid ourselves.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you, it's an overreach. It's an overreach. The legislation is an overreach.
I don't think it's an overreach.
Children at the age of
no, it is. It is. The ban is the ban in its entirety. There is no flexibility. Whether you are an adult or children, it's ban is a ban.
I don't think you have a problem with it because
Sarian, I want you.
I don't think your problem is adult.
And that lawyer to.
Oh yeah, you don't think so?
No, one instance.
What is it? No, hold on. Coach. This is a very no. Hold on, coach. Very good. This is what I want you to come out and explain to the media, to the viewers. What is my position and what is my problem?
Your position is this thing should be decriminalized and people should be given the choice to have it. That's your position.
Yes, especially if they are adults.
Defend it then.
But Lumani.
I defend you do. Musa, one thing I'm gonna tell you. You probably don't know me. I'm not scared. I'm not scared to set my position on any issues. And I think Matar Sajau is on there. He knows what I said in the past. I am not.
No,
I am the position who I am.
We had this issue before.
But because how can you lecture some people when half of your family didn't even do it? This is a sensitive position.
What family?
I mean, I'm just letting you know, you cannot preach when your own family members come out and talk to you and say, hey, we did it. We never had any issues of having natural birth. They don't. So I'm not scared. I'm not scared. Trust me. I'm not scared to say these words on a public platform. What I'm trying to tell you is, I think the law is overreached. It is. And I think there should be flexibility whereby it doesn't get criminalized in its entirety.
You know what? Let me just to be because I'm the same person here. Of course, people will take their positions in this law, whether they like it or not. I don't have a problem with the law. I believe the ban should stay. And I've not seen any instance where adults are subjected to this. But again, you have your right.
They are subjected to it right now.
Has a right to his opinion. And I am just glad that at the end of the day, the ban is there. And I hope that at least it is enforced. Because one thing that we cannot also continue to have in that country is to have people who will deliberately tell the government that I am going to violate a law, like Imam Fati is doing. If anybody else, some of us, they call these activists on steroids.
No, I don't think that is reasonable. But I also think there is way for the courts to make decision on this, especially.
And in a democracy, I would, Sariang, the only way that we can strengthen our democracy is to use the courts. Like somebody suggested that even with this dual citizenship thing, we need to test it at the courts, because even the wording itself, I believe, is something that may not hold if it were to be challenged in the courts. But one thing that we're going to do, when we activists talk about protest, we are called activists on steroids. We cannot give you permits because you're going to destabilize the country. But when people, influential people who have their backing of these Salafis or whatever, giving them money, and the people that follows them or whatever chanting behind them, tells the country that, you know what, we are going to do this and nothing is going to come out of it.
all I know is I think it would be interesting.
No, is it a lie that Imam Fati did not declare before the whole country that they would circumcise people and not nobody?
No, he did. No, he did.
Some of his style.
No. Hold on. Coach. I want to make this very, very clear on this platform, like I always do. I am not the spokesperson for Imam Fati. Nor do I agree with Imam Fati on some of his public utterances. I'm speaking independently, in an open mind. The law, you said you are for abortion rights because you support women's rights. And maybe you are for gay rights. Maybe you are for transgender rights. These are all rights, right?
I am for all rights.
Okay, so if we're going to discuss...
I'm sounding like an
no, but what I'm saying is it not incumbent? Is it? No, hold on.
I'm not going to pay for anybody.
Let me put that up there.
No, hold on. Hold on. Well, coach, but again, the Badibunka man, it's also the Badibunka man's right to say the law is unfair,
and you know what?
And is discriminatory. Hold on.
This guy is saying that, talking about female private parts. I don't think Nemom Deglo Imam Fati interview and be a care party.
All I'm saying, Musa, if you are for women's right, how about you are not for women's right for 18-year-old who wants to practice FGM? I guess that's the fundamental question.
The law now, let me tell you something, Sarian. If you are an adult, most issues when it affects adults and what they do, I do not get involved. If two consenting adults want to do anything to me, or a consenting adult want to do something, I do not involve myself in that. And the centerpiece of this legislation, we can spin it anyhow we want,
and he's doing that.
This is not spinning. I'm just saying.
His Molagena Hamne lobby does not address adult. This is about protecting children, and he knows it. So
no. But the law doesn't say implicit. The people that were taken. The people, the folks that were taken to prison. Those were not children. They were adults.
But they were performing it.
Musa, what I'm trying to say is we can hold on a second. I think where you are getting all this twisted, I am not giving a pass on adults who are taking their children who are under 18 years old. I am not giving them any pass, and I'm not an advocate for them. But what I'm trying to say is if someone is 18 years old and read the cons and pros and agree.
Do you know any 18-year-old or older who has done this?
Yes, of course.
Oh, okay, that is sad.
I know them. We can say this. I know them. I know 18-year-old, 17-year-old who went on through this. I know them.
No, 17 is still not adult.
Yeah, but 18-year-old is it. But what I'm trying to say is let's work in a way whereby if you're saying I am for women's rights, abortion, contraception, gay rights, all these rights. What I'm trying to say is if people, it's based on sensitization and conversation. Hey, the law ban, you cannot do this, until you are 18. But you are 18. If you consent to it, you can go ahead and do it.
And you know, this topic will always be a contentious issue, even the religious things, because there are some religious scholars who believe that it is Islamic, and the problem I think most religions have is the injection of these Arab cultures in these religions, and they got.
Well, they don't do it. Some of them don't even do it. So why are you injecting their culture into this whole conversation?
But that's what I'm saying. But that's the argument. So people will tell you it's
Islamic. Well, I think that's a benign. That is a benign argument. But what I'm trying to say is, and I think this is where I laugh off Musa and I challenge Musa, because I think Musa is reading this thing the whole. I'm not here to advocate for adults who are putting their kids through this. I am not. What I'm trying to say is, if someone has an 18-year-old and consent and read, says the pros and cons, and say, still now I want to do it.
No,
who are the lawmakers?
Lamin Tarawale is asking whether I support kids being turned into trans. I don't support anybody who is a kid been subjected to failing there.
But here is the thing, though.
That's not what I
support. What is the requirement for transgender?
But whether LGBT or C is a sin or is not a sin. First off, this is religion, Abrahamic religion, teaches us that the ultimate decider of what is sin or sin, do you know? So why are we having people appointing themselves as to what is sinful and what is not sinful? Why can't we just all do what you're supposed to do with your God and leave others to do? It may be sinful.
I think that is a non.
Because you believe in that. Maybe the person who does not believe that.
I do not subscribe to any religious indoctrination as far as FGM stands. I don't. I'm speaking that the same rights where your rights stop.
The cultural aspect.
That's where everything bigger. But you cannot deny folks their right. They want to practice their culture and they are part of those citizens and they want to do it. Leave them to do it. Don't discriminate them. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, and you know what
it's overreaching.
You know what is funny? When you talk about religion and have a point, you stick to what you know.
Musa, are you in for gay rights too?
To read like everybody else. Just because I don't go and start acting like I'm the mufti all over the place, doesn't mean that maybe I may not even know more than you do. Who are you, Derek?
No, Coach. Coach, I agree. Coach, I agree wholeheartedly. And if you look at this religion, and Musa knows this very well more than I do.
Man.
Someone. No. What I'm trying to say, I agree. You know, this tag of somebody is a kafir, somebody is this. Only God knows this. I mean, you can be the person, but the last 6 days, 4 days, you tend to come back and say, you know what? I am going to be a changed person. Musa is very, very clear in the Quran. It says, if you do that,
and
you die through that.
You know what I would love?
I don't wanna twist this whole thing to be a religious thing. All I want is
you know what I would love for Gambia, for the sake of Gambia. Whenever these issues come up, religion and culture are injected to defend it, and forcefully. Because that's what God says is wrong, is this thing, God does not allow it, it should not happen. But you know what also God hates according to all the Abrahamic books? Corruption. Corruption, which has a far-reaching consequence on the life of the Gambian people, or African people for that matter. I hope that one day our imams and all these muftis will get up and say, you know what? Now our fight is against corruption because it's haram. Just as they say everything else.
Nah.
That's it. But the thing is, some of these people have no problem with, look at how Yaya Jammeh was treating our imams. Because and they knew, I know, everybody knew, Jammeh could not afford that money. He stole that money.
All I have problem with is if you
I
support,
hope that this religious
if you
people
support
will one day
transgender,
get up and say, you know what? Now we are going
nanjel
to
affaire
fight
bi yep remplacer ko, and they go through. They go through that process. Yeah, if the transgender, you support that, they go through the whole transformation. You nanjel bagas be completely and replace it with another bagas. You don't have a problem with that. You support that because it's their right.
Okay. Okay.
No, hold on. You are laughing, but it's serious, right?
Let me say this. I don't have a problem with Imam Fati. You know why? Imam Fati, he has every right to say, these are my religious beliefs and my cultural beliefs, and he went about it the right way. He went about it to change the law. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what a democracy is supposed to be. I respect that. Nobody will question where Imam Fati stands. Imam Fati demonstrated religious leadership. My quarrel is with the party being a Kamne. This silence is deafening. Where is, let me see the potential leaders within the UDP. Where is my man? The man that I can walk into the office and vote for him, that is Talib Bensouda. Where is he on this issue? Silence. He will not be heard. I support the guy. He's progressive. He can bring about change. When the issue is difficult, where is Yanks?
But they are not part of the legislature.
They're not part of the legislature, more than what? They're not part of the legislature. This is waffling that I'm talking about. You don't have to be a National Assembly member for the party platform to take a position. If you believe the rights of Imam Fati and where he stands needs to be defended, do it, my friend. Show me.
No, they are not gonna overreach. It's overreaching, and they need to stay in their own lane.
Let me say this. You kept talking about it's the National Assembly that make laws. It's the courts that will interpret to see whether does this law violate the Constitution or not. So somebody would they. But no different law. It was whether it was a bad law going back to 2015, maybe it was a horrible law. But the law is the law. You decided to come and challenge it. The law is just the law. I mean, Sharia. Right? So you are saying that law violates the Constitution. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Individual. No. I said individual. Now let me be specific. Individual rights. So how about the law doesn't give any consideration or whatsoever, any leeway whatsoever to consulting adults, 18 years or older? How about if they wanted to do that?
Monday gives me 18-year-old with them.
Well, you don't know. I just answer coach. You don't see it, but I saw it.
18-year-olds?
Yes, Musa.
If you don't go and learn,
no, Musa, I'm just letting you. All I'm just saying, Musa, I am on the record here. I'm on the record. My daughters are not gonna, and I think people in my category who even came from the background or the tribe that they associated, I want to say things clearly. I'm not scared to say this. You say Mandinkas are doing this. Even my culture, in my generation, a lot of folks shift from this, practice, right? But what I'm trying to say here is I think the law is far overreaching. It didn't give any leeway to consenting adults. If they are 18 and they said, hey, I want to do this. Yeah, no, you cannot do it.
That doesn't mean it violates the Constitution, though. I mean, you can say...
No. I'm saying it's not up to me. I did not say. I said they are right, individual rights. And also, I think the lawyers, I think the people who are, they need to lawyer up and challenge this clause and say, hey, how about people who are 18 years and older who wants to consent and wants to do this? At their own accord, they read, they consent, they know the pros and...
You can sponsor a private member bill, and then
I'm not gonna. No. Who is gonna sponsor a private member bill? Who? No, who is going to sponsor it?
No, but you can as a citizen, you can. But
as a citizen.
No, I'm not a citizen. I'm not gonna give up no dual citizenship. I'm sticking with my citizen right here.
You don't need that. You don't need to give up dual citizenship to even a member of the public can sponsor a bill. You just have to do it through the National Assembly. But what are you saying? If they want to take that route, go to the courts and challenge the constitutionality of the court.
I think that is something they need to exploit.
Lila Wade, you live in a country. You have political leaders. We have a debate. When you have a debate, I want, because I am considering you as a voter to vote for you. Damabuganga one ma spine. Even if you are, then you tell me where you at. Key.
Sarian.
Huh?
I'm gonna say, boy, he is so excited because of this Biden news. So that excitement.
Yeah, I kind of sense. Everything is about excitement. It brings that phenomenal. It brings that me. If he does this, he does it like Trump. They want to kill me. They know one bullet cannot kill me. I survived it. But God was not done with me. God was not done with me. God was not done with me.
You know what? Can you imagine?
Low energy though. The guy, I was listening to him. I'm like, oh my God.
I did not watch his speech.
Huh?
I cannot watch Trump.
No, he's low energy. He's rumbling. And guess what, Musa? Guess what? I think this announcement came at a very fundamental stage in the race. The weekends.
Nobody's going to talk about him anymore.
All the medias are carrying it.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to talk about it tomorrow. That buried the hatchet of Biden is old. Now you can see whether we're going to see the bounce. The bounce. This bounce. They told me I was very unifying. They told me I'm very unifying. This country was disaster. Okay, but now I can sense you are there today. Tomorrow morning, I bet you're going to send me a text early in the morning, followed by a phone call in the afternoon, and say, bro, you see the excitement? You see everybody coming out? You see that?
You know what the Democratic Party has done? Bro, they've been talk with Biden should quit. Congressman, criticize Biden, Keenan and Biden stay. So the whole thing was a mess.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden, I'm telling you, we have hit the
I'm not going to try Imam Fati. We've tried to invite Imam Fati to this platform. We are not,
and let me tell you, Imam Fati is not afraid. That's one thing I respect about the man. He's not that. No, I'm telling you, he is not afraid.
No. I know.
Where he's at, you can agree or disagree, but he will tell you Momfan Latolo. Now, where I would disagree with him, if he says, man, I'm going to break the law no matter what. I don't think he should be talking like that.
No.
His approach was, I'm going to go through the legal means, get my sponsors, take my supporters, we go to the National Assembly to put pressure on them to see it my way. That is the democratic way.
Talking about, sir, I'm going to disgusting. The Holocaust denier, King Ham the most sponsored that bill, brought this thing. The National Assembly member, the Jame guy.
Mr. Giba, right?
Yeah, to say that, you know what, we are ready to go on a what do they call it? What did they call it? Like a guerrilla warfare.
No, he says
yeah, if our deen is being attacked or our culture, I'm like sitting there and say, dude, the biggest threat or attack on religion in the Gambia was under Yahya Jammeh when he arrested imams and put them in jail because they led prayers. Where the hell were you? Chances are you were there clapping for and tell him, you know what, where to go. You see, these people think that they're dealing with stupid people. What did Jammeh do to our imams? What was worse than that? Those imams.
But I think
because
I
they
think
imam prayer. You went and arrest them, put them in jail. In fact, threatened them in front of the whole country and told the Minister of Interior, If you don't want to go to my hotel, 5-star hotel tomorrow, let allow somebody to pray. Anybody who prays tomorrow, arrest. They went and arrested these imams. The former imam of Birkama was also arrested by Jammeh. In fact,
Ture Karamo.
Ture, yes.
So the biggest threat ever to Islam in that country was Yahya Jammeh, and they gave him the title Nasiruddin. But together they would sit here and talk about, we go in guerrilla warfare and all.
No, but I think, coach, at the very end, I saw his speech though on that day when they passed the ban. Imam, he says he told his supporters that no one insult any member, attack any member, destroy anything. Because I think the realization comes in all his proclamation, we're going to do this, we're going to do it. You can't. I mean, the fact is there are revenues for readiness, right? So if you felt that you still have a way, we have court system. Go ahead and do that. But don't say, I'm going to violate the law as it stands. I mean, that's not. That doesn't help. And I think
it feeds into
easy, sir. We're going to do it no matter what.
But I think that was a bluff, to be honest with you. I really think so.
Imam said what he said, and then I'm glad at the end of the day he was listening. The process has ended. Don't attack anybody. Don't insult anybody.
Yeah.
And that's how a democracy.
And you have to respect. The law, even though you disagree with it.
Yeah.
You have to respect the law. If the law says this, don't do it. Don't go in there and give false people hope that they can go in and violate the law.
And it feeds into this thing. Watch out for these. These Wahhabis. See what is happening in Mali or Burkina Faso. It feeds into that fear, which clearly you went through the right way. You guys find a way to take it to the National Assembly and say, we want to change the law. I mean, that doesn't stop you. You can go back and say, look, our supporters, we are going to support candidates that would actually change the law. Ain't nothing wrong with that. He can say that. Whatever Musa maintain, Sariang's uncle. Talking about.
So that's your uncle Sariang. You need to bring.
Oh, he is. I mean, it's not like he's dead. His dad and my grandmom, our first cousin. He was raised at my mom's house, and you can see this guy. People sometime on Yaya was a teacher. He did the highest one, HTC. He went to Taiwan. He's an engineer, and he went back and did his law. But sometimes his whole utterances and the way that he writes on Facebook gets into the way of all this. He's a professional teacher. And I told him, I said, hey, this was not the good one. Don't cash out. I mean, these issues are sensitive. If you decide to dodge the hard vote, because that's what it seems to me, because I called him, I said, you think we're not watching you? You were there and you said you had to go for lectures. Right? You didn't vote. Your vote was going to be on the record. Now, on this thing, I don't think the last vote, he didn't even vote, right? So the Elijah S. Davos and everything, they went out there, they voted.
So why didn't he vote, though? That's what I'm saying.
Because he dodged, and he went and got this stupid audio. That's what the problem is, Musa. He dodged the vote. He didn't want to take the hard vote. You're talking about this spineless?
Down dip.
You're talking about the spineless guy? It's my own uncle, Koringo. He's a Koringo and he dodged the bullet.
He said he went to class. He was at the university.
No, the first time they were debating, he said he went for lecture. The excuse was lame and the hard vote. And I think when the vote came in to vote, that was just dodge. I mean, he just.
When you know,
but I think maybe that's what he thought he would bait up for it and say, you know what, Imam, I'm coming to you. You guys come to us. We're the defenders of it. And when you say that, come on now, who are you going to defend Islam against? I'm like, come on.
I'm not as a National Assembly member. Let's say you're from people that voted for you. The majority of them supported to be decriminalized. I will follow my supporters and I'll come and say, look. These are the people that put me in office. This is how they want me to vote. That's how I'm voting. Or, that's one option. Or, you come out and convince the people that voted you into office and say, we need change. To me, that's leadership.
I think that's the route.
Huh?
That's the route I will take and sensitize them. Have community meeting, like the brother, the guy from Tallinn, right? He said it. He honestly said, I met with my constituents. Majority of them are in for this, but they had an engagement. Some agree with him, some didn't. Bakari back. But at the end of the day, basically what he did, he voted for the ban, and he wants the ban to stay. So you know what? He took it up, but he needs to go back to his folks and say, this is the reason why I did vote, despite some of the concerns that you guys raised, some of the things that you guys said for the ban, against the ban. But you know what? At the end of the day, he is the name. He needs to convince them to say that what I did was right, but to dodge. And I told my uncle, coding all doesn't do that. You know, as you know, he's a coding. He's a coding and coding dodge, the hard vote. You know? Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Lamin Jame, some of these people are from with their deception and manipulation, evil, devil dishonesty in 2024.
Is that the Iranian guy? How many?
Yeah.
Lamin, we're from Fudatoro.
No. Musa Jeng is from Fudatoro. I am not Lamin. So don't send me to Fudatoro. Man, you know,
evil and devil dishonesty.
Man, I'm from Nyani. So,
yeah, man. But you know, it is what it is.
No. I think the ban again. Almame, the fact for me, I've never seen anyone who's been prosecuted. I mean, not that they don't do it, but I haven't seen it. And I think the ban needs to be dismantled. Why? Why do you have to dismantle it? Why? What is the reason for it? But what I know is discriminatory to say we ban it in its entirety. I think there is chances that the folks, I'm telling you, I'm not your chief advisor, but I think you need to take it to the court. And I think there's
if you take it to the court, you will lose. What you need to do is take it back to the National Assembly to change it. The courts you will lose. Seriously.
Because there were some people who were suggesting, instead of going for, like, if Jiba, I don't think the
he's the wrong guy too.
If he had maybe tried to amend some aspect of the ban, like what you were saying, Sariang.
Yes.
You know what? Yeah. Yes. You know, for kids, no, but for consulting adults, maybe that could have been at least plausible. But you know. But
Pasamba, let me tell you, the Almami Jibas of this world, their problem is not that. Their problem is seriously, Lolo the same Jublu. Why would they want to do that? No, they want the ban to be lifted. They want to discriminalize it so that people that culturally believe in it should be able to do it to their own children. That government should not be in a position to tell them what they should do with their children. Lolo is in position. Seriously. Yeah. So
I think that is even the audios that he kind of released WhatsApp, because someone forwarded to me and I listened to it and I was shaking my head. You know, I mean, interestingly, Fatoumata Jawara of all people said, you know, it's interesting that somehow you are the defender of this religion. You know, you are the defender of women's rights. When this law was passed,
of course,
the president who signed it into law was Jammeh. And everything that you say in this National Assembly or everything you support is tailored towards that person. How come you did not? There is not a single audio that you released to go against this legislation. So, you know, I mean, she has a point. You know, I agree. And says, you know, not of a sudden. And you know, the thing, Musa, the way he said it too. I mean, as you are saying it, the guy comes out across like, okay, we're out here, we are looking for you, we're looking for religion, blah 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 blah. I mean, it gets lost in the translation, even folks that are supposed. But you know, it is what it is. An imam needs to respect the law. I mean, the ban is in place. It's in place. You can't.
Unidal, the one that is getting all the thumbs up is the deputy speaker, Sidin Jai. He's the progressive that saved the day. Whilst I mean the progressive United Democratic Party, Sidin Jai is now the progressive, transformational, and
there is no transformational. There's nothing transformational about that spineless hypocrite.
Sorry, I want to get
lack of morality. A coach says, "I'm going to steal coach's word." Sibor cut. You know what I mean?
Why not? Even what's on Gambia said you go to thumbs up there. I think
thumbs up for what?
Alu kan koku falu dara.
Koku has never made a decision based on his conscience. I can bet you if Barrow said no, he would be the first one anti about more imam party for the Uganda Talubun. Don't get me.
You know, the amazing thing is every single thing. Even right now, when they were promoting those officers, I seen him. You know, he's very spectacular to capture images for public view. Anywhere these events are, the guy will take a center stage, and and he knows that people can't stand him, but you know what? He's gonna be there anyways and do it.
That is funny. Well, he's
even his buddy, my brother Bakari is on his case these days, and they're all from Nyanija. Bakari is livid about that issue, the Alcalo, or some land dispute that some politicians are injecting themselves into the ongoing case. Bakari is pissed off. Every morning he will write it. This morning I read his piece and he says, "You guys need to stay away from this. It should be the courts and all that stuff." But it is what it is, man. I am happy if the band stays played. But I think Imam, I think you need to recruit some folks if you want them to go down there and vote. Be with you. You better start recruiting MPs now and campaigning.
Exactly.
We'll see.
Exactly. I think that would be the approach. Exactly. Even in other countries, they'll form their own parties. I mean, even in places like Israel, there's a reason why.
Musa, please, we don't want to go that theocratic
way. I'm just saying, religious people.
No, Coach. What do you think? How much chance do you think that is even that's even gonna sell? I'm just saying, let's create. Let's create a level playing field.
I would rather have them to exploit.
No, Musa, you say Iliman bi. Lamin Jame, mune Mandikas religion is truth Islam. Thank you. Jame Musa. Hamada Jame Musa, ngada Jame Gila.
Well.
Mune Mandikas religion is truth Islam.
So about Mandinka's religion and some other tribes' religion there.
No, and I heard he's from Baribu too.
Hamga Baribu because who I've not seen? The guy who used to tell Nakalatura, Australian people. Jahandaba.
I haven't seen him
yeah.
I haven't seen him for a minute. Pop Samba. I think
it was good to be back. Sarian, thank you very much for
get the temperature up a little bit.
Wow. So since the
and I'm just gonna read this text from someone who says, "Hey Sarian, I like the debate. It was very spirited, and I think you guys all play your part fairly. But please tell Musa Gang to tone it down a little bit, because this is not about UDP and its leadership. I mean, if he could tell us all the political parties in Gambia for him to state each party's position on FGM, that would be very, very nice. But taking...
I suspect where that is coming from.
Yeah, that sounds pretty much like Sekou, But Sekou Kamara, but
That is something that you would say. The guy is...
Yeah, he says, no. And I was like, he says, but overall, I think everyone stands their ground. That's what he said, you know. So today, I think they are not giving high marks to everyone. I think it's trying to create a level playing field.
That is Sekou, and that's how a UDP would respond to this issue. It's not like they care for it. They don't like it. They don't like it. But they also know they don't want to alienate their voters. So now they'll tell you what.
And Mbaru, the core voters.
Yes, the MAGA voters.
No, Musa, you're in trouble, man. You are a distractor. I will say use that word against you. Call it a distractor, okay? All right, man.
All right, man. We'll come back next week, inshallah, in another Sunday. 40 people, by the people. Top Samba. I'll talk to you on the other side. Nega damay buga dem CNN rek taw fa da tay sa dama buga nanagum ataya rek jublo CNN and see all the pontification and where we heading.
Lord Jesus Christ. Okay, yerem na la tay mom. Oro man sa nig mom ken do la remote control bi tay. And you'll be hearing the same thing repeated a billion times over and over and over and over again.
It is good. All right, bro.
All right, man.